Yeah, we're not done yet. We need to recognize our trainers.
Tuesday night, October 1st, but it's no normal Tuesday night, ladies and gentlemen. It is some rare Tuesday night football. So 4-2 Edgewater Eagles are taking on the 3-2 Winter Park Wildcats. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joshua Guerrero, and welcome to a special Tuesday Night Football pregame show presented by EA Sports. Today, we're going to see the Edgewater Eagles take on the Winter Park Wildcats. The Eagles, coached by Cameron Duke so far, are 4-2 this season, coming off a 50-nothing blowout win against Lyman. The Eagles are looking to improve to 5-2 this season, looking for another chance to win their first state title under Coach Duke. The Wildcats are coached by Tim Shiflett and are looking to improve to 4-2, coming off a 58-nothing blowout against Freedom. When we come back from the break, I'll talk about what else is going around the Orlando football landscape. You are watching CBS Digital Media Network. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our special presentation of the Tuesday Night Football pregame show presented by EA Sports. Let's go around some stuff that happened earlier today, or what's going on right now, and what happened or what is going to happen on a Friday night. So, number 6, Dr. Phillips, who are 5-0, are playing 3-2 Lake Nona tonight, and number 13, 5-0 West Orange is playing at 3-2 Evans. 0-5 Cypress Creek is playing 2-3 Lake Buena Vista tonight. On Friday, number 3, 6-0 the First Academy is playing a team from Georgia named Ruben Cap Nakuchi. Number 18, 4-1 Oviedo is playing 4-2 Haggerty on Friday as well. Number 1 team, 3-2 Coco is going to be playing 4-1 Norland from Miami. And a matchup that I'm personally excited to see. Number 4, 5-0 Seminole is playing number 16, 2-3 Titusville. When we come back from the break, I'll be going over the teams and my official predictions of the game. You're watching the CBS Digital Media Network. We will be right back. Welcome back to our special presentation of the Tuesday Night Football pregame show presented by EA Sports. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go over these teams real quick. Let's start off with the visiting team today, Winter Park. So, some notes that I got on them real quick. Some key players out there. We got Mekhi Lockhart. He's a defensive lineman, 3-star recruit, currently committed to Marshall. Their star cornerback, the best player on this team, is cornerback Aiden Pouncey. He's a 4-star recruit, number 33 prospect in the state of Florida, and has 32 different offers, such as University of Florida, Florida State, and Georgia. After that, we got a wide receiver athlete by the name of Zion Wolf. He currently has a offer from a Division III college called Anna Maria College. Their starting quarterback is a guy named Grant Cotner. He currently has an offer from a Division II UNC Pembroke. And their backup quarterback named William Jackson, absolute athletic freak, has 7 different offers right now, such as South Carolina, Florida Atlantic University, and Virginia Tech. Some other players of note: defensive lineman Knud Davis. He has an offer from Florida Atlantic University. And then lastly, their tight end, Andrew Foyle, has 10 different offers currently, such as UCF, Louisville, and UConn. Now, this is what I'm looking for out of Winter Park. So what Winter Park has to do to win this game, they got to attack the secondary early with deep threat playmakers. With a deep threat playmaker as Gabriel Diaz, who's their leading receiver, their deep threat guy, attacking the secondary is going to be something that they got to do. Second thing, the defensive line has got to speed up the running backs and Emmanuel Carter. This defensive line group, absolutely stacked, putting pressure on the offensive line. Some big plays on the ground, huge factor in this game. And lastly, give Aiden Pouncey support in the secondary. Edgewater has a stacked receiving core. You guys know that. I mean, Samaj Fleming, Tyson Carter, Luke Anderson, Saphir Miller, just to name some. Let Aiden stay matched up with either Fleming or Carter and let the other guy make sure he locks down that other receiver, whoever that may be. Now, let's go over Edgewater real quick. You guys know Edgewater. Kamani Williams, offer for Marshall currently. Jatorian Duke Mack, you guys know him. 20 different offers. Committed to Appalachian State currently. Jaden Brown, defensive back, wide receiver, just a straight athlete. He's committed to South Dakota. Number 44, Aiden Anderson. He has an offer from Appalachian State right now, just like Jatorian Duke Mack. Ben Bankowitz, offensive guard, has offers from both Kentucky and Cincinnati. And then Jaden Wilkerson has 15 different offers. The top recruit on this team, currently committed to the University of Miami. Carter Emanuel, the quarterback of this team, has 10 different offers currently. Arkansas, UCF, USF, West Virginia. You guys know all about Emmanuel Carter. Josh Perry has 16 different offers. UMass Yale, Bethman Cookman, absolute stud. The other wide receiver that we just talked about, Tyson Carter, 8 different offers, but is currently committed to FIU. Another receiver on this team that I forgot to mention, Kristen Henderson, has 2 offers. Brown and Pennsylvania currently have an offer on him. Brandon Paul, another wide receiver on the team, has a Division III offer and Division II offer, Grinnell and UNC Pembroke. And lastly, the star of the show, the playmaker, the guy with the big plays, Samaj Fleming. 16 offers, but is currently committed to Boston College. No, this is what I am looking for out of Edgewater. The offensive line needs to play a big game today. Listen, they're playing a very solid, great group of a defensive front 7. So the O-line needs to make sure they're blocking for run plays and give Emmanuel Carter enough time in the pocket. Second thing, you guys got to shut down Gabriel Diaz. I mean, Gabriel Diaz has 223 yards this season, while no other receiver has more than 50 yards. Keeping them under wraps is going to be key to this game. And then another point that I got from the receiver opposite of Pouncey will be the main weapon through the air. If Pouncey is matched up with Tyson Carter, Samaj Fleming will be your number 1 guy. If he's matched up with Fleming, Carter will be your number 1 guy. If matched up with Fleming, I want to see how Edgewater is going to use them creatively, throughout the slot, in the backfield, wildcat formations, everything that they do. Last thing that I want Edgewater to do is to limit the run. Their offense is a run-based offense, big run-based offense for Winter Park got two guys over 100 yards rushing, another guy that's tearing that 100 yards. They're a big run team. I'm looking at Aiden Anderson, Sol Williams, and Will Marzoff as guys that I'm going to be looking at to see if they can stop the game. Now, let's go over my official prediction. Listen, these are two very solid teams. They're very closely ranked to each other. But I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think Edgewater is a little bit too high-powered for Winter Park to handle. But I do think it will be a competitive game. So this is my official prediction. Give me Edgewater to win 35-21. When we come back, we'll send you to the booth with the two men of the hour, Jesse O and Alvin Delvey. You are watching CBS Digital Media Sports Network. Thank you for tuning in to the Tuesday Night Football pregame show presented by EA Sports.
Another beautiful night here in Orlando, Florida. We had some early scattered showers that have now cleaned up a little bit. Field's dry, everything's good to go. The sun's setting in the distance over our Tuesday Night Lights presentation. Hi, everyone. Let's have some fun. Jesse O, my strong safety, sitting next to me. Alvin Delvey. Josh Guerrero is our producer. Josh Vandergrift is our director. And Alvin, another week of high school football for us. It seemed like we might not be able to actually get this one off. Two teams that have not played each other at Edgewater's home field since 2019. So a lot of history between these two teams that we'll get into in 1 second. Winter Park won the coin toss. They will elect to defer, and they will kick off to Edgewater. They're going right to left, kicking off and back to receive for the Edgewater Eagles. Samaj Fleming is in the middle. Tyson Carter is on the north side, and on the south side is Jaden Brown. And it'll actually be a pooch kick that just gets up to the 40-yard line. Winter Park's going to touch it first and a scramble for it before the Edgewater Eagles fall on top of it at the 30-yard line. Their own 30 on the left hash. So, Alvin, getting started in this game, what are your keys to the game for both of these sides?
Well, most definitely for Winter Park on offense, they have to start off with the run game. Bobby Thomas III right now averaging 124 yards per game, and pretty much what that does, if you're a defense, it forces you to have guys in the box. Your DBs are cued in on the run, and then you're able to bang that thing deep and go to Gabe Diaz, who is their leading receiver. So you have a couple of options there, and obviously you want to start off with that run game. And for their defense, if you're Winter Park, you got to find a way to stop this explosive offense. They could hit you in many ways, and you have to be keyed in on your gaps and make sure your eyes are where they're supposed to be.
Carter Emanuel is the quarterback, and he will hand it off to Josh Perry, who is the tailback, who drives forward up to the 35-yard line from the 30 to the left hash. A 5-yard pickup there on first down. It'll be 2nd and 5 from the 35.
Great job by Edgewater. You have a gut play, getting right up the middle, and the ability to fall forward is something that we're going to see Perry do time and time again. Understanding how to keep his legs turning, it's a big deal.
Carter Emanuel on the play action. Now he's back at the 25, being chased down up to the 30, 35, 40 before he makes a move to the outside, fly up to the 50. Got the first down plus an extra 10 yards. Gets into Winter Park territory up to the 48. 1st and 10 for the Eagles.
Typically, you want to see your quarterback slide in these situations, but Carter's just been so good at getting upfield and getting extra yards, and his punishing defenders when he gets them on contact. Great job utilizing his legs for that first down.
So the receivers are Tyson Carter, Samaj Fleming, and Saphir Miller to start off this game. A direct snap to Samaj Fleming, who's going to roll towards the outside. Now past the 48 and gets up to the 35-yard line. A big pickup there for Samaj Fleming. 14 yards on the carry. Another first down, and the Eagles move the chains again.
In the pregame show, you heard Josh Guerrero talk about some of the explosive power that Edgewater has. And whenever Samaj Fleming has the football, it's just very difficult to outflank him. And right there, just straight shot outside and runs off that left side, gets the first down. The offense is incredible.
Edgewater from the 35-yard line, left hash. Josh Perry gets the handoff, and it'll be waved dead immediately. It just seemed like right after the snap, there was a flag that was thrown from the near sideline judge. I'm assuming since they blew it dead, it was probably an offensive false start.
And this game has been very clean. Obviously, they're coming off of a smackdown, which was relatively clean as well last week. And if you're Edgewater, this is something that you have to figure out. Granted, you always have these drive killers, and how can you handle adversity? Are you able to sit here behind the chains first and forever and get positive yards, make it 2nd and reasonable, or are you going to succumb to it and make it 2nd and forever and 3rd and forever, and you lose this drive?
One receiver to the left, 2 over to the right. The ball's going to be snapped from the 40-yard line. Josh Perry, the tailback, they will hand it right off to him, and he will be met right at the line of scrimmage, but able to pick up an extra 2 yards on the first down carry from 1st and 15, makes it 2nd and 13.
That's just a great job defensively by Winter Park. It's an absolute mosh pit in the trenches and mucking up the picture. That's honestly what you expect out of this D-line, and they're doing that time and time again. They're going to have to do it again on 2nd down.
The snap to Carter. Emmanuel now on the reverse. They're going to give it to Samaj Fleming, who's going to cut back right up the middle, past the 35, up to the 30-yard line. That's a pickup of about 8 yards on the carry.
Pickup of 7 or 8.
3rd and 5.
That's really an excellent job by Edgewater. You have 1st and forever, and you get it to 3rd and reasonable, and now with this spread look.
Now Edgewater with equidistant length from the right sideline to the left sideline. We're going to have our first timeout here of the first quarter. 9 minutes and 16 seconds to go. Edgewater has made their way over into Winter Park territory. The Edgewater Eagles and the Winter Park Wildcats here on CBS Sports Digital Network will return with our coverage of Tuesday Night Football.
Information and instant news about Edgewater football. Follow us on X, formerly Twitter. Our X handle is, you guessed it, Edgewater Football. Additionally, you can check us out on edgewaterfootball.com for the most up-to-date information. Be a fan of it all.
Back here for the first quarter as the time starts ticking down from 9 minutes. Edgewater goes hard count from the 30-yard line to try to draw the Wildcats offside into the neutral zone. Great job being stout there by the defensive front. So now Josh Perry goes into the left slot. 2 receivers left, 2 over to the right. Empty backfield for Emmanuel, who'll take the snap from the 35-yard line, looking left, throws it that direction, and it might be picked off, and it is. His pass goes over to Zion Wolf, the free safety. And just like that, it's a turnover for the Edgewater Eagles, who were in Wildcat territory.
That is honestly an incredible job of being in the right place at the right time. And Zion Wolf right now, offer from D3 College, Anna Maria College, and keep doing things like that. He might have a few more pile up. And shout out to Josh Kerr, our awesome statistician, producer. He wears many hats for us. And unfortunate turnover for Edgewater.
Carter Emanuel, one of the rare interceptions he's thrown this season. 3 so far for him, and that'll be a turnover. So now the Wildcats will get it from their own 15-yard line. So Edgewater's defense actually still has good placement of where the ball is right now on the field.
It just hurts coming off of a stout drive like that. And
yeah.
You expect to come away with points, and for it to end in a pick, and it seemed like the ball just got away from him when he was trying to get that in cut, and very unfortunate for Edgewater. Winter Park might be able to do something crazy.
Grant Connor is the quarterback, and he will hand it off to the tailback, Bobby B. Thomas III, who goes up to about the 16-yard line. So we only gained 1 on the carry, second down. And with 8 minutes and 14 seconds to go, Winter Park's offense is going to look to their quarterback, Grant Connor, 6'5", 184-pound senior.
And Gabriel Marquez does an excellent job of crashing on that. Sees that on end line of man of scrimmage, and
Connor back to pass, throws it over to the right side. Defender slips, incomplete. I don't even know who he was targeting there. Might have looked like he wanted Zion Wolf, who just actually had the interception. Also wears many hats for this Winter Park team, is one of their stout wide receivers as well.
And it was bad from the start. The snap was mishandled, and from there the footing was a little rough and trying to deliver that football. He's just happy that he can get a third down.
3rd and 9 now from the 16-yard line as Connor takes the snap, looking over towards the middle of the field. Pass caught. Bobby Thomas III, the tailback, will go forward up to about the 20-yard line. Still well short as he gained 5 on the pass reception, and a great job by this Edgewater defense forcing a 3-and-out after that costly turnover by Carter Emanuel.
And this is honestly more telling on Winter Park, especially when you force a turnover in the red zone. You're expecting to see a shot play. You're expecting to see some aggressiveness, and for that to be the 3-and-out, hats off to Edgewater, like you mentioned, reading their keys and getting downhill.
So the punt goes out of bounds around the 48-yard line, still in Wildcat territory. So the punt only really went 19 yards as Samaj Fleming and Tyson Carter were back to receive in Edgewater territory. And they just looked over to the sideline and realized, wait, I don't have to do anything. Those might be the best punt returns, right?
Well, if you're a little bit scared of the punt return, those are great. But if you're Samaj Fleming, you want that rock in your hand. You want to be able to do something. So that's very unfortunate, a little bit of a miscue. However, for Winter Park, that might be the most wise thing you can do. Kick it away from that guy, because we've seen him return many kicks. And I'm sure with the way this game's going, he might be in the end zone doing his touchdown dance soon.
So Julian Prime now is going to be the tailback. And for this second series for the Eagles,
First down Eagles from the Cats' 48-yard line.
with 3 receivers over to the right side, Carter Emanuel will be taking the snap from the 48-yard line left hash. He takes the snap, hands it off to Prime. Prime goes up the middle before he's pounded down, but not after he picks up about 6 yards on the carry. Made it up to the Wildcat 47-yard line, second down.
That is just unfortunate. Caleb McDonald does a good job getting him down, but sometimes you're on the wrong end of a business deal, and whenever Prime has those shoulders lowered, man, it's difficult to bring him down.
Julian Prime coming off of a 3 rushing touchdown game over Lyman. Edgewater won that game 50-0 last Friday, and now they'll give it off to Josh Perry, their other back, who gets the first down, plus an extra few yards up to the Wildcat 33-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Edgewater Eagles.
You want to talk about moving football, they're hurting this offense up.
Emmanuel calls for the ball, and they'll give it right back to Josh Perry, who goes up the middle again. The chains weren't even set, though, as he made it back to the line of scrimmage, and then an extra couple of yards. And I think the far side judge blew it dead. There was a flag that came out from the far side line judge, and I think that he saw what I was seeing, and that the chains weren't even set. So I don't know who's paying the chain gang, but clearly they need a little bit of cardio help.
The cardio help, and so does the D-line. A little bit of substitution issues, and talk about the battle of the trenches. That's always a key. And right now, Edgewater is absolutely dominant. Flat backs all around. There's gaping holes throughout, and these backs are utilizing them well.
So the snap and the handoff to Julian Prime, who goes forward, and he will pick up the first down. Make that Carter Emanuel, and he picks up the first down up to the 18-yard line, left hash, and the Edgewater Eagles are in the red zone of the Wildcats for their first time in this game.
We've seen a few QB runs, and they've been all positive.
From the 18, here's Julian Prime again, gets the handoff, now goes towards the right side of the line, and he will keep it going up towards inside the 5-yard line. A run where he was met at the line of scrimmage at the 18, made it up to the 4. Now the Edgewater Eagles are going to go quickly here. Carter Emanuel, Julian Prime will bust his way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Wow. We get a few plays to hurry up. We get very limited passing, if any, and it's off the legs of Carter. It's off the legs of Perry. Prime does an excellent job of running his legs, breaking tackles, and getting 6 on the board. This is going to be a dominant performance. We're going to see a lot of this. Nothing cute. Everything's north and south. You're getting 6-7 yards a pop.
Miller with a snap.
So here is Kinley Curvin out to kick this one away for the extra point. The holder is Carter Emanuel, and it's a low rocket through the end zone. Edgewater leads 7-0 after the Julian Prime 4-yard rushing touchdown, and he gets his 4th rushing touchdown in the last 2 weeks, actually. I mean, their last game was on Friday night, so in the last 4 days has 4 rushing touchdowns. That's called efficiency, Alvin.
That's efficiency, but realistically, man, what it is to be young. A 4-day turnaround for football. It's just the difficulty in that is uncanny. You have to think typically how a typical week will go. Monday is your mental day, you're resting, you're healing, and Tuesday is your work day. This is where you're installing stuff. You're trying to really install the game plan. Wednesdays when you polish it. Thursday you have that special teams, polish everything up, walk through before you have your game. So to be playing on that first install day and to look as crisp as they did, you're seeing some hurry up. Granted, on that first possession we see a turnover, but to clean it up and score the way they did, Edgewater looks excellent.
5 minutes and 47 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Kinley Curvin back to kick this one away. And back to receive for Winter Park. Aiden Pouncey, Gabriel Diaz, and Eshawn Sutton going north to south as we're seeing it here from the press box. Kinley Curvin kicking this one away. Left to right will leave this one just a little bit short. Edgewater might have fallen on top of it at the 35-yard line and went far enough to be a pooch kick where Edgewater could have recovered. They kicked it right to Randall Scott. And they will say that Scott was able to get there in time, but he is slow to get up as he is down at around the 30-yard line right now. Very slow to get up as the training staff will go over and take a look at him, which means we're going to take a break from our broadcast for this injury. 5 minutes and 44 seconds left to go. Wildcats have the ball in their own territory from the 35 when we return.
I'd like to take this time to recognize our visitor family of the game, the Stone family from Maitland, Florida, Roger and Natasha Stone. Thank you for being a super fan.
5 minutes, 44 seconds left to go in the first quarter. The second drive now starting for the Wildcats from their own 35-yard line. The snap to Connor, the handoff to Thomas III, who plows forward for an extra 2 yards up to the left hash. second down.
What a move in the hole. You get a linebacker barreling downhill as soon as you get the ball and immediately put your foot and do that pirouette like that and get positive yards on what looked like a dead play. That's exactly why he has so many offers.
Winter Park coming off of 2 games in their last week. They played both Jones, the number 1 team in Central Florida, and Freedom, who has yet to score a point yet this season. The handoff immediately goes to Thomas III, who runs over towards the near side, gets out of bounds at around the 40-yard line, picked up 1 or 2 on the carry. Still 6 yards to go, so it'll be 3rd and 6 from the 44.
Talk about a tale of 2 weeks. 1 week you don't score at all, then the next week the other team doesn't score and you score all the points. So being able to bounce back from that Jones loss and have that type of a win versus Freedom and see what they can muster up today.
Got blanketed by Jones 22-0 and then beat Freedom 58-0. So a quick snap to Grant Connor, who might not have been ready for it. Pass goes over to the far side. Caught Aiden Pouncey, the junior, who gets the first down up to the 50 and now gets into Edgewater territory at the 48 far side. 1st and 10, the first down for the Wildcats in this game.
And he gave Nicholas Collins Jr. everything he could right there. Great job stopping on a dime, and Aiden Pouncey is able to fight for extra yards. That's one of the more difficult things is when you're latched on and they catch that hitch route, you don't really have much leverage with your legs. You have to start churning your legs to make that tackle. That's why board drills are important for DBs. Very difficult to bring them down.
Aiden Pouncey, the 6'3", 165 junior, really loves this Winter Park system under Tim Shiflett. The snap to Connor and the handoff to Thomas III, who goes towards the far side flat and gets detonated on for a 3-yard gain, but he's going to be feeling the hit at the end of that one. Made it up to the 48.
It looked like Amir Hill may have gotten to him and landed that wallop, but that's just one of those things where you get outside. If you cut it back, it's D linemen that are going to attack you outside of defensive backs. And does a good job of hanging on to the football because I'm not sure too many people would after a lick like that.
So Winter Park trying to really slow this Edgewater front down, and we actually had a penalty flag come out. So the official said there was a personal foul against the Eagles that's going to back them up an extra, 10 yards? 15 yards. It's a 15-yard penalty. And now the Wildcats are really working into Edgewater territory. They get it now from the 33-yard line.
A couple of penalties early for the Eagles.
Connor will take the snap from the 33. Now looking left side. He's going to be sacked all the way back at the 42-yard line. He's brought down by a combination of Justin Edwards among the few.
And Will Marzoff, player of the game. A few weeks ago, you get that tandem, getting that backfield. Sometimes when you roll out, you also roll out of your protection. And great job by those two in the linebacker core. That box has been excellent the entirety of this season. Second and forever. If you're Winter Park, you just want to make this 3rd down and reasonable, but even that's gunning for at least 15 yards. So let's see if these D linemen for Edgewater can't get their ears pinned back and get after the quarterback again.
Xavier Denmark also among the mix. 3 receivers over to the right side, no receivers over to the left. Grant Connor, a deep drop. Now he's under pressure, escapes, and will go over towards the right side at the 50, launching down the middle of the field. He's got a wide open man who's going to catch it for the touchdown. Attack Atticus Van Dyke left all alone. A 38-yard touchdown throw on the run by Grant Connor. A high-level play leads to a high-level finish. And after the ensuing kick, it looks like Winter Park might be able to tie this game back up. What a defensive blunder, Alvin.
And that's all on the back end because you get great pressure by Damian Moore. You get 3 guys really collapsing. He escapes. He's running for his life. And for there to be no one within a 12-yard radius of Atticus Van Dyke, that's the easiest throw that Connor will make all night. Atrocious behavior by the defensive backs for Edgewater, and that's something that's going to drive any coordinator irate.
So we're tied up 7 apiece here in the first quarter. Insurance Affiliates Agency in College Park is your go-to source for all of your insurance needs. Visit their website at www.iaafl.com or call 407-802-3311 and ask for Ryan or Kyle Joyce. By the way, Kyle Joyce, the former defensive coordinator for this Edgewater Eagles squad, stepped down this year, is now a defensive specialist coach for them, as Tommy Whitted will take over the reins. And he's, like you said, probably a little bit irate about that last play.
A little is a nice way to paint that picture. Man, when you have a blunder like that, if the defensive backs hold up a little bit longer and force them to pat that ball just one more second, that's a huge sack, and this thing is looking a lot different. So great job by Winter Park to take advantage of the opportunities given. And now, Jesse, we have ourselves a football game. So excellent to see. Let's see how Edgewater handles a little bit of adversity.
Edgewater with a 4-2 record so far this season. Their 2 losses coming to the First Academy and to Jones. And now the kickoff will go over to the far side. And now Samaj Fleming will break a tackle from the 35, now the 40, now the 50, now into Winter Park territory. And he's still inbounds, finally pushed out inside the 40. Wow, that's a 40-yard return, Alvin, for one of our favorite players, Samaj Fleming.
Again, Pat McAfee will be proud of Austin LaBelle, man. He does a good job of just escorting him out. And Samaj Fleming, again, we've mentioned how dangerous the letters ATH are when it's put next to athletes, and he is no exception. Phenomenal job of just accelerating and decelerating, cutting, getting upfield and making a huge play. We've seen him do it time and time again. And now it's first down with favorable field position. I'm expecting him to touch the football again, and I'd be shocked if he doesn't score in this game.
So Samaj Fleming with 20-plus Division I offers, and he is a very sought-after product here out of Orlando, Florida. 3 receivers over to the right now with the ball being snapped from the left side at the 43-yard line. They give it off to their tailback, Josh Perry, who barrels forward for a gain. Good gain on first down there, 5 yards on the carry, second down. Carter Emanuel will take the snap, hands it off to Perry. Perry goes right behind that line again and just plowing his way to a first down. Pick up of 7 on that carry, so they move the chains.
You run the RPO with hopes of getting it to your star Samaj, and you're able to just run the ball and get 5 yards of pop, and they do it again.
Yep, so Josh Perry, as the chains were just getting set up, that one goes for about 8 yards, so it'll be second down and about 2. And we have an injured Wildcat on the field.
It looks like it might be Mekai Lockhart, D lineman, that's averaging 10 tackles a game. And when you have a stout player like that getting 10, that's Aaron Donald numbers. You really hope for Winter Park's sake and for Lockhart's sake that it is nothing serious.
He's got 2 sacks so far this year, and we're going to hope he is okay when we return. 2 minutes and 49 seconds left to go in the first quarter. We're tied up at 7.
All you got to do when you don't have a level, you put some tape and get the tape on back. Put it on while we're here.
So Mecky Lockhart looks okay and is able to walk off under his own power with 2 minutes and 49 seconds left to go. The Edgewater Eagles will be taking it from the 20-yard line. They have a 2nd and 3 in Wildcat territory. From the left hash, they'll stack up 3 receivers to the right, and Josh Perry will be the tailback. And this is almost the same play they've probably run over and over again the last 3 possessions, right?
Yes, you hit the nail on the head. This is the exact same formation. It looks like it might be a power again.
So they'll motion over Luke past this, the fullback over to the right side, and now Josh Perry will run right past him for a first down up to the 14-yard line.
You got bent a little awkwardly on that tackle, but if you were concerned, if you were thinking it might have been the same play, don't worry, it was. So 4 plays in a row, we get that power. The only difference is you get that halfback to come to that right side and Luke past this, and he barrels a hole, and they get another first down.
So now an empty backfield for Carter Emanuel, so it does look like they might throw it as they get Josh Perry in motion, a quarterback keep as Carter Emanuel will barrel his way forward for about a 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7.
So you have Samaj Fleming, who is on the outside, who's typically a guy you want to touch the football, and because the run game has been so effective, there's no reason to go away from the run.
So here's what they might go with again here. Same thing. They will motion pass this over to the right side. They're going to give it off to Perry. Perry goes to the right and now plows his way forward on that 2nd down run to make it a 3rd and 2 up to the 10-yard line.
3rd and short, easy run down, and I'm just curious to see if we're going to see more of the same because this has not been stopped. The run has worked, and every drive has a life of its own, and you do what works, and it's not broke, so I wonder if they're going to try to fix it.
Edgewater made it even further. They're at the 7, the snap, and then they'll give it off to Samaj Fleming. Samaj Fleming going forward, and he might not have gotten to the yard line to gain as he will be marked 1 yard short. 4th down coming up with 1 to go. Decision time for Coach Cam Duke.
KJ Davis flew in and thumped Samaj Fleming on that. Granted, there's a guy hanging on his legs, whatever you want to say, but excellent job of not allowing Samaj to fall forward and pushing him backwards. 4th and short, like you said, this is decision time, and you know I love a good aggressive play, especially when you're in your own territory. So hopefully see something crazy here, Justin.
So Coach Duke, obviously a little irate here at the end of the first quarter with 57.2 seconds left to go. And
The 1952 club.
rightfully so. I would say that, you know, it's an interesting spot for them to be in. 4th and 2, actually. It's not 4th and 1. So it's not necessarily 4th and extremely short. They still got to pick up 2 yards. The last 2 carries there, Winter Park was able to get stops on the run. So what do you think's coming here, Alvin?
Personally, I'm a Madden guy, college football guy. I'm running the exact same RPO setup where I got Samaj in that trip, and I'm running a power whip there.
Okay.
If not, I can pull it and I can throw it to Samaj and let him do what he does on the outfield with numbers, or you can let Perry plow forward for 2 yards.
So shotgun right, 4th and 2. They're going to go on the design quarterback keep. Carter Emanuel pushing his way forward. Got up to the 4-yard line. Was that good enough for the first down to move the chains? And it is to 1st and goal. Great job by Carter Emanuel calling his own number there for the first down. And now the Eagles are working again from the 4-yard line. Last time, Julian Prime punched it in. Josh Perry now is the tailback. 2 receivers left, 1 over to the right. The snap, the handoff to Perry. He puts his head down, barreling towards the goal line, stopped at the 1.
This is going to be a dirty game, and honestly, you got to love it. We've seen a lot of runs between the tackles, lots of cuts, lots of powers, inside zones, and it's worked for Edgewater.
From the 1, here's the snap, the handoff to Perry, who goes straight ahead, and Perry in there for the touchdown. A 1-yard rushing touchdown for Josh Perry, his 7th of the season. The Eagles are back on top.
I know you got to give the credit where credit is due, and Josh Perry does an excellent job there. The senior looks incredible, but Ben Bankowitz, number 55, on the left side of that O-line, a junior, does an excellent job of just absolutely dominating the line of scrimmage and honestly pushing his defensive end to the other side of the stadium. He got offers from Kentucky and Cincinnati for good reason.
And the kick is up and good.
13 and a half
Gotta love
seconds
having a guy
left
like
in the
Josh
first.
Perry.
Your Eagles 14.
Supplies information, makes it sound good, and makes it sound smart.
13.5 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. In sports, you want to stay well ahead of your goals. Advent Health is here to help by revolutionizing healthcare today. Advent Health is a proud supporter of Edgewater athletics and high school athletics in Central Florida at that. I had to go to the hospital earlier this year. Alvin actually had to take me to Advent Health, and they were nothing but amazing to me, and I was able to get the care I needed. So big thank you to Advent Health. A personal thank you to Advent Health. Yeah, literally. You took me to the emergency room. Yeah. Sucks that I had to go, but, you know, what better hands to be in than an Advent Health? And that's not me reading off of a piece of paper. That's actually a true story.
Now, unfortunately, Winter Park is in the emergency room. They're standing on that E.
Yes.
And their offense has to do some things. Because the way that this game looks like for Edgewater's offense, it has to be a shootout both ways because I don't see Edgewater running out of ammo.
Gabriel Diaz, Eshawn Sutton, and Aiden Pouncey back to receive. This one is again going to go to Randall Scott, who just falls right on top of it at the 35-yard line. So 1st and 10 for them with 12.6 seconds left. They will get one play pretty much off here to end the first quarter.
I will say, we've talked about, you mentioned that previous punt return and like sometimes you want to go out of bounds. The only thing that you don't want to happen is being that front line on KOR, kickoff return, and that ball screaming at you because it never ends good. If it bounces off your chest or if you catch it and don't get down quick enough, people are coming to hurt you. Like that is lions are hunting. It's a feeding frenzy, and you are unfortunately the wounded prey.
And unfortunately, it is not like the new kickoff rules here in the NFL, regardless of how you feel about them. So from the 35-yard line, here's the snap to Connor, who's going to keep it himself and fall forward back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 from their own 35-yard line.
Aiden Anderson again, good hands-on, hands-off, aggressive in the gap.
So the
first quarter is over, 14-7 through our first 12 minutes of action. The Edgewater Eagles and the Winter Park Wildcats. More game coming. You're listening to Tuesday Night Football on CBS Sports, presented by EA Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give a warm welcome to a true champion returning home. We have Olympic bronze medalist and our very own Edgewater High School 2021 graduate, Amari Jones. During his time at Edgewater, Amari not only excelled in boxing, but also served as president of Lambda Young Men's Club and participated in our junior ROTC under Sergeant Major Lieutenant Colonel. Recently, he made us proud as the only U.S. boxer for the USA to medal at the 2024 Paris Olympics. Please join us in celebrating this incredible Eagle and wishing him continued success both inside and outside of the ring. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Amari Jones, bronze medalist, Olympics.
During the break, we got to see a gold medalist out on the field for the Edgewater Eagles, and cool sight here in Orlando, Florida. Gold medalists from everywhere, and this is not just like an Edgewater Winter Park thing. This is an America thing. So all in all, go USA, baby. 2 receivers left, 2 over to the right, as the throw will go over to the right side, and it'll be intercepted. That one will be returned in for a touchdown. Damian Moore taking it from the near side, a 40-yard pick six to the house. Edgewater ahead by 2 scores.
Excellent job by the junior. It looked like he was in an inverted cover 2, inverted Tampa. He was covering the flat and just does an excellent job of baiting on that out route and playing underneath. And not only does it fix it, spins around and shows the boosties as he gallops for the pick six. Excellent job by an excellent player. He's had some tackles in the backfield, and to add a pick six to his resume, hats off, young fella.
20-7 now the score after that 40-yard pick six. Kinley Curvin out to make this one a 2-touchdown lead. Bang, there it is.
It's crazy what turnovers will do for a team and momentum shifts. And for Winter Park, they're feeling very good. You scored on your first drive. You come back and you're thinking, okay, they scored, let's do it again. And then you throw a pick six. So not only is that a turnover, but it's a nice little 14-point swing against you. So now Winter Park has to do a good job of not pressing here, and you're going to see a lot more in the run game. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with Bobby Thomas. You might see some screens, gain some confidence back in Grant Connor's ability to throw the football and see the field. So curious how Winter Park's going to come out. But if you're Edgewater, I'm thinking they're going to get aggressive and continue to have those four linemen rush and see if they can't throw some different coverages in the back end to confuse Connor into another one.
Connor's fourth interception thrown this season. So Coach Tim Shiflett, the head coach of Winter Park in his 19th season, can't be happy about that one. By the way, he started in 2006 at Winter Park. He's just their second head coach ever. He took over 2 years into the program, Alvin. So this coach has seen this program through the ups and downs of the years.
And honestly, that level of pride and the ability to set a trend, really a culture, and I'm excited to see how that plays out. They have an excellent year so far, and this is another big test. Obviously, Jones didn't go the way they wanted, and this is another opportunity to go at a top dog.
So here comes the pooch kick, which is a low line drive. That one will be taken out again by Gabriel Diaz, who goes over towards the far side. Gabriel Diaz wrapped up inside the 25-yard line and then viciously pummeled to the ground outside of the 20. But, of course, forward progression is where they will mark him. So it'll be a 1st and 10 from there.
Jesse, I just feel gray hair sprouting as we speak. My lower back hurts because our grade statistician was born in 2005, Jesse.
What? So he took over when Josh Guerrero was 1 year old as the head coach of Winter Park.
And here he is, a sentient human being, doing things, producing our broadcast, making us sound smart. Wow. Time flies. My back hurts. I think I need a nap.
And in Josh's lifetime, Tim Shiflett, the coach of Winter Park, has only had 5 losing seasons ever.
Wow.
Cool, huh? How about that for a fact for you? So 1-by-2 formation with the receivers. They get a man in motion, and then they'll hand it off to Bobby Thomas III, who goes towards the left side, and he will be tackled for a 1-yard gain, 2nd and 9, coming from the 25-yard line.
We're seeing a lot of red at the site of these tackles, and honestly, that is exactly what you want to see out of a good program defensively. You should see 11 hats running to the football, around the football. Good things happen when the team corrals offensive players. So good job by the defense, keeping it to a short game.
2nd and 9 from the 25. The snap to Connor. He dumps it over immediately towards the near side. Pass is caught, and then making a move to the outside is Aiden Pouncey, who gets the first down, but a flag came in from the near side judge at the 26. That might be going backwards.
It has to be. And Torrey Hewley Jr., number 10, the corner for Edgewater, does an excellent job of just trying to be stout on the edge as a force player and gets held aggressively. And sometimes holdings are warranted, and that was one of them, because if you didn't hold him, that probably would have been Rydell tattooed on his neck, and you don't want to see that.
So that one will be going back a little bit. On that one, it looked like Aiden Pouncey a little too handsy with it. The big man up front, setting those blocks for Winter Park. Gavin Piercy, the left tackle. Cameron Clark, the left guard. Rio Giuseppe is the center. Say that 5 times fast. Colin Stone, the right guard. And Ethan Taylor is the right tackle at 6'3", 285, the senior. I also want to point out, Alvin, that they have this tight end that I've been loving watching on film, Andrew Follett, who's 6'4", 230 pounds as a sophomore.
Yeah,
he's a big boy.
Water.
Grant Connor has to just throw this one away after he snaps it, but he didn't throw it away in time. Jatorian Mack with the interception, his 3rd of the year.
AJ Hughley with the interception.
Or make that AJ Huey. his jersey was half untucked there, so it looked like a 0 or an 8, excuse me.
Jesse,
Wow.
you have to give credit. And right there, the senior, Huey Jr., number 10, he gets held on the previous play, does an excellent job of reading it, but these are two completely different plays. He's downhill on the last play, and then not even 30 seconds later, he's getting a freebie thrown to him, and he picks it off. Great job by the DB, forgetting about the previous play and making it on the next one.
And then after the pick, a timeout called with 10 minutes and 48 seconds left to go in the second quarter. So Grant Connor throws his second interception of the game. One went for a pick six. That one, it looked like he was just trying to throw it away after he was getting chased down inside the 10, and it threw it right to the defense. 10:48 to go. We'll take a break. 21-7 is the score. The Edgewater Eagles are taking a snap from the 15-yard line in Wildcat territory. Two receivers left, one over to the right, as Josh Perry is the tailback. A play action from Carter Emanuel. He'll look to the right side, and the pass will be caught over in that direction, and walking in, untouched for the touchdown, Grayson Gibson, the junior, from 16 yards out.
Grayson Gibson on the 16-yard reception.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Last series, if you recall, by Edgewater, it was just absolute domination in the trenches. You get power right, power left, inside zone, gut, and then repeat all of those three. On this one, first play after the turnover, you get play action power rolling out, and you get a nice wide open receiver in Grayson Gibson. Easy pitch, easy catch, easy scamper for 6.
Carter Emanuel with his first throwing touchdown of the game. Kinley Curvin out and puts this one through, and now Edgewater is up by 28-7. So they've eclipsed 20 now at 21, 10.5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. And, you know, that first quarter was pretty close, Alvin. And then what changed?
Turnovers.
Oh.
It's really that simple. You get one turnover, turns into 6, and right after that, because it was back and forth. It was Edgewater scores, then Winter Park scores. But then right after Winter Park scores, you get that one pick 6, change the tie. You get another situation right back out. You're right back out. You think, oh, this is going to be a screen play. Great job by the D-line, pressing and forcing Connor to be on his back foot, trying to throw the ball away. And then you get another pick, and then immediately after that, followed up with another touchdown. So these swings, and right now it's a 21-point swing off of those 2 turnovers. Edgewater's done an excellent job of not allowing Winter Park to get comfortable even after Emmanuel's thrown that first pick. But Winter Park, maybe between the tackles might be what's necessary to get your confidence back, and maybe have to start seeing some screens and honestly pulling a playbook out of Edgewater, getting into some of those RPOs and forcing this defense to spread out a little bit.
Except for the one drive where Edgewater just kept running the ball down the Wildcats' throats, we really haven't seen Edgewater's offense out on the field that much.
They're not, no jerseys are dirty. They're having fun. They're hanging out.
Another pooch kick right down the middle for the Wildcats, who do recover it. This one by Addison Zaleski, right at the 44-yard line in the middle of the field. So that's where the Wildcats will get this one. Okay, so if you're Grant Connor, you've now thrown 2 interceptions. How do you keep your confidence in yourself, Alvin?
Well, if I'm Grant Connor, I didn't throw 2 interceptions. That happened already. I can't do anything about it. I'm coming into this thing like it's 0-0, and the only thing I have right now is this down. So you have to have ultimate confidence in your teammates, ultimate confidence in yourself, and realistically, you just have to dominate each possession.
Andrew Follett over to the right side, and the handoff will go to Thomas III, who gets up to the 45-yard line before he barrels right into Jaden Brown to make a big tackle. And the big hit by Brown will make it 2nd and 8 now from the 46-yard line.
You said DBs don't like to tackle. Jaden Brown thumping on that play. Granted, he might see a little Tweety Bird, but it's okay. He's committed to South Dakota, DB, receiver, ATH. See a lot of those ATHs on this Edgewater side. Shout out to Josh Guerrero once again with our stats.
Grant Connor will take the snap, looking left now as he immediately rolls backwards, and he will have to break one tackle before he just gets this one away. Feeling a lot of pressure. Perez Martin among the few.
Number 28, Justin
This
Edwards
is
Jr.
very reminiscent of Colorado Boulder's offense early on in the season, where you just get a few leakers every play and they're full steam. No punching, no nothing, whether it's schemed, whether they're doing the stunts, or whether they're just beating their men off the line of scrimmage. But right now, Grant Connor has his work cut out for him. Not only does he have those 2 picks in his resume, because they're down so much, Edgewater knows that they get to pin their ears back, and it's been difficult.
3rd and 8 for the Wildcats. Connor takes the snap, looking left, throwing that way. Pass caught, and then a huge, unbelievable hit delivered in the mail by Nick Collins on Aiden Pouncey. It'll be a 4th and 7. Picked up 1 yard on that one. Whoa!
He's been dreaming of that since he was 12. To have a play perfectly laid out like that, he's downhill and gets to drop the sledgehammer in front of his home crowd. What a play.
4th and 6, they're going for it. Connor is under pressure. He's wrapped up. He's sacked. Aiden Anderson, the first one to get there.
It all rolls downhill, and unfortunately at the bottom of the hill is Winter Park. Great job by Edgewater. Momentum has shifted, and it's stayed with the Eagles. They've done an excellent job defensively of dominating, and honestly, it's very difficult for Winter Park if they can't get offensive possessions to last a little bit longer, if they can't get first downs, and this defense is seeing them perfectly.
9 minutes and 16 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. 28-7 is the score. The Eagles are absolutely clobbering the Wildcats right now. And after that turnover on downs, Edgewater will get it from the Wildcats' 43-yard line as the Eagles will take a timeout. If you're looking to update or renovate your garden or lawn, visit Palmer's Gardens and Lawn or Palmer's Feed and Seed for all of your needs. Palmer's is a longtime proud supporter of the Edgewater Athletic Department. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Edgewater Eagles from the Wildcats' 43-yard line on the right hash. 9 minutes and 16 seconds to go here in the second quarter, 28-7. The snap to Carter Emanuel, who will go and run it over towards the right side past the 40. Now the 35. Now the 30 is where he got up to. It's a first down run. Pickup of 13 on the carry. Not a design quarterback keeping it works anyways, Alvin.
No, and Malachi Battle had him dead to rights, especially at that 5-yard mark. He does a good job of putting his foot in the ground and getting more yards. Great job and great vision by Emmanuel.
So from the 30, Carter Emanuel will take the snap, and he'll hand it off to Julian Prime, who already has a touchdown on the game as he rushes forward up to the 27-yard line.
Prime took Carter Diaz for a ride, and it's not an easy thing to do. The big fella, the D lineman, has done an excellent job of controlling his gap in this game so far. So for him to jump on his back and for Prime to be able to carry him for 5 yards, that's very impressive.
2nd and 6, Christian Henderson is now the tailback. 1 receiver left, 2 over to the right. as Carter Emanuel will take the snap from the 30. Play action, dumps it over to the middle, incomplete. Tyson Carter was his intended receiver, and he was covered up by Aiden Pouncey, who is both a free safety, a wide receiver, and a flag comes out.
Josh Bussey does an excellent job of just being that pressure, being that menace in Carter Emanuel's face. The reason why he couldn't get that ball to sit down and complete that throw. So excellent job applying pressure, and curious what this flag's going to be on.
Number 9.
So the white hat has not made it clear yet, as it looks like the far side official is talking about where the ball should be placed. Edgewater is going to get backed up here, and it's unsportsmanlike conduct on the Eagles.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Eagles.
That's a new one.
that is a new one. And realistically, you're in a situation now if you're Edgewater. I know everyone here should be watching college football to be cued in on what's going on at the next level. And I think Georgia, Alabama, big game like that, you're up big, and then you lose it by losing focus. You end up winning at the end of the day, but you don't want to lose focus at any point in the game, despite having that comfortable 21-point lead.
So Edgewater now has it from the Wildcat 41. It's 3rd and about, I want to say, over 20. 28-7 the score. 8 minutes, 17 seconds left to go in the second quarter. So Edgewater's got about a mile to go here. The first down line to gain is at the 20. Edgewater is at the 41. Christian Henderson into the left slot. 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Empty backfield for Carter Emanuel. Takes the snap from the 40. Looking towards the right side, throwing over to the middle of the field, and sliding to make the catch up to the 25. Good catch there by Samaj Fleming, but that is just a little bit short. And I think if you're the Edgewater Eagles, why not just go for it?
Send it, because you just picked up a monster of yardage right there. Samaj is looking great, and you're able to do whatever you want.
4th and 4, Samaj into the left slot as the Eagles go hard count, and a timeout taken by Coach Duke. And he is, again, a little bit upset with Carter Emanuel. Kind of a theme maybe we've seen a couple times. 7 minutes, 48 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. Edgewater going for it on 4th and 4 from the Wildcat 24-yard line. They need to get to the 20. Out of the gun, here's Carter Emanuel, takes the snap, play action. Now rolling towards the left, up to the 30, throwing that direction. Pass cut, Samaj Fleming at the 8-yard line. It's a first down, and now goal to go for the Eagles. So I think they clearly knew that they were going for it on 4th down there after the 3rd down throw.
It's easy money. If you have a guy that's just so wide open like Samaj, and he really hasn't put his fingerprints on this football game until those last 2 possessions outside of that kick return. So love that he's getting the football, and he's honestly very trustworthy and deserving of it.
So now from the 8-yard line, we have an injured player now down on the field at the 5-yard line. We'll take a step aside real quick. 20-7 the score. 7.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Back here in the second quarter, Pouncey was all right. He's able to get off the field unblemished. So 7.5 minutes to play here. From the 8-yard line, the Edgewater Eagles will have first and goal. Julian Prime, Carter Emanuel will walk into the end zone untouched.
Emanuel, 7 yards right up the middle, untouched.
An 8-yard touchdown run
Touchdown.
for Carter Emanuel. And the Eagles extend their lead.
Again, great job, Carter Emanuel, but even better job by Jaden Wilkerson, absolutely detonating on the line of scrimmage. Offensive lineman, has 15 offers, UCF, Ole Miss, Liberty University, and he committed to my favorite, the U. So Jaden Wilkerson, University of Miami, is going to be blessed to have a guy like that. And with plays like that, he's going to do great at the next level.
So we had a flag there against the Edgewater Eagles. So that'll be assessed on the kickoff. So Jaden Wilkerson, who Alvin was talking about there, is the left tackle. Judah Miller is the left guard. Ja'Cory Harris, the center. Ben Bankowitz, the right guard. And Austin Taylor is the right tackle. The kick is up, and the kick is good.
7:14 left.
So just under 7.5 minutes left to go there. The Eagles score very quickly again, 35-7. One more score, and we are going to have a running clock in the second half. By the way, you were talking about Jaden Wilkerson. He's been doing such a great job at that left tackle spot. University of Miami is really going to need him after they have a backup quarterback behind Cam Ward, who's a freshman right now. So they're obviously going to need to protect him in the future. So good for Wilkerson for going there. He might actually see some time playing. 6'7", 330 pounds is where he's at right now as a senior, and obviously that'll probably go up when he's in college.
Oh, yeah, he definitely knows his way around the lunchroom, and in college it'll be even better.
Especially when he doesn't even have to think about it even more. They're just like, here, have this, have this.
Give you that. They're going to give him that hurricane card, and that freshman 15 is going to be alive and well.
Well, freshman 30 probably.
Lunch Hall is going to hate to see him coming.
The bathroom might hate to see him coming even more.
Back for the Cats, Pouncey.
Okay. I love the kid, by the way. Jaden Wilkerson is winning at life. He's going to love college, too. So the penalty is assessed on the kickoff, so the Eagles kicking this one away from their own 25-yard line, which means Aiden Pouncey, Gabriel Diaz, and Eshawn Sutton are back to receive around their own 30, 35-yard line. But Edgewater has pretty much squib kicked this every single time, and this one is going to have to get to the 45-yard line in Edgewater territory. Let's see what Kinley Kervin does here. Oh, he brings the boom, and this one is going to go all the way back to Aiden Pouncey, who's going to take it from the 20, now up to the middle of the field, now the 30, now the 40. Still at the middle of the field before he's tripped up and brought down at the 45-yard line. A good return there of about 20 yards.
Very good return, and it looked awkward initially because you had to go backwards to track it. It took a second to get his footing, and then he was very Le'Veon Bell-esque with his patience and letting his block set up, because I don't think anyone on Winter Park thought that was going to be a deep kick, and he still does a good job getting it up to the E insignia on the field. However, the last couple possessions has ended in picks. So for Grant Connor, now you have to remember, I actually have done picks. I have confidence, but let me be smarter with the football. Let me make sure I'm placing it where only my receivers can get it, and it's okay to take a sack.
Connor has already thrown 2 interceptions so far in this game. The last time they were out there was a turnover on downs. He's going to hand it off to Thomas III immediately, gets up to the 50-yard line, a pickup of 5 on first down on that run. 2nd and 5 coming from the 50.
This has absolutely nothing to do with the play, but Justin Edwards, the linebacker, the way that he's filling these gaps, I'm not running to the left side of the field if I'm Winter Park. That was absolutely incredible. These linebackers are thumping, and they're reading their keys very well.
Thomas III again with the take as he is bent backwards at about the 47. Well, they're going to give him a nice spot, 47-ish yard line. 3rd and 2.
Ja'Cory Hill does an excellent job of stopping the bleeding there, and it's 3rd and short, so Winter Park has the advantage here, definitely a running down, and as we've seen so far, that's really been Edgewater's calling card, is to stop the run. However, We see Bobby Thomas III still doing what he does, and that's turning his feet. Great vision and scurrying upfield. So I'm excited to see if they're going to run something inside or we're going to utilize the trips to the top of the field.
From the 43, Connor with pressure in his face now has to just get this one out. He was first met by Will Marzoff, the linebacker, 6'1", 215 pounds on the senior.
Yeah, there's really nothing you can do if you're Grant Connor in that situation. As soon as you're trying to go through your progression before anyone has broken their routes or even reached 5 yards down the field, you already have to get upfield. You have to shift right, shift left, and he has to look like Tom Brady in the pocket just in order to avoid 3 defenders before getting rid of him.
3 receivers over to the left side as they're going for it on 4th down. Thomas immediately hit hard, short of the line to gain, picked up 1 yard on the carry, 1st and 10 from the Edgewater Eagles, who turn the Wildcats over in their own territory. Edgewater taking it now from the 47-yard line as we take a water break. We're halfway through the second quarter. 35-7 is the score in the game. Edgewater has been taking it to the Wildcats. .547 to go in the second quarter as the Edgewater Eagles now have the ball after a 3 and out by the Wildcats. They will take the snap from the 47-yard line. Grant Connor is immediately looking left now, going over towards that side, gets a block up front up to the 50-yard line before he's pushed out of bounds. Pick up of about 2 on the carry, and a flag comes in from the official right at midfield.
Malachi Battle does an excellent job on the far side of just giving tremendous effort out of that D-line. And I know, unfortunately, he's not able to get there for Winter Park, and you get Carter Emanuel utilizing his legs and showing off that speed. And it's really been a severe drop-off. Talk about falling off a cliff for Winter Park. The start was phenomenal, and then after that one pick, obviously it was a pick 6. It's just the inability to figure it out and stop the momentum and force it to shift. It's been proven very difficult for Winter Park.
So we had a penalty against both sides, unsportsmanlike conduct. It will be an offsetting penalty, which means it'll just be the result of the last play. 2nd down, about 6 to go. Edgewater will be taking the snap from the Wildcats' 49-yard line. 1 receiver right, over to the left are 2. The tailback is Josh Perry as Carter Emanuel takes the snap, going over towards the right side. Pass will be caught. Great catch there by Luke Anderton for the 1st down. He made it all the way up to the 46-yard line.
And they did a good job catching them in cover 3. Ty J. Martin was in bail there, so as soon as he stops that route down on that hitch, it's just difficult to get the cleats out of the ground. And Ty J. was just a half second there. I thought it was a pick, and Luke Anderton came down with it.
Josh Perry trips and falls on his own feet at the 40-yard line after the handoff. A loss of 2 on the carry, 2nd and 12.
Sometimes the grass monster just has to grab a hold of you, and right there, fortunate for Josh Perry. Grateful for Winter Park. There's been something that they've struggled to do is tackle in the backfield. All they have to do is just get some help from the Green Goblins underneath that insignia.
The snap to Carter Emanuel, who will give it up to Perry. Now Perry rolls over towards the left side, up to the 30 before he's tackled and goes out of bounds. So he got back about 10 yards on that carry, but he's still short, obviously, after he tripped off over his own feet on that last carry. So 3rd and 2 now.
Tristan Gunn does an excellent job there, understanding what Josh Perry does to people in the open field. Just dive at those legs, force that man to go down, and it doesn't have to be pretty as long as it's before that 1st down, and see what this interior D-line will do against this run.
So here's the snap, the handoff to Perry, and Perry actually met at the line of scrimmage. Great tackle there by Aiden Pouncey. And it'll be 4th down. Didn't get anything on that run.
Yeah, it's like Eshawn Sutton there. Got a few people flowing, and love the linebacker play so far in this second. Got Edgewater linebackers flowing. You got Winter Park linebackers flowing, and unfortunately, Samaj Fleming is out of the game. I'm excited he's going to get this football on 4th and 1.
One receiver left, one right. The snap, and Carter Emanuel will call his own number, and he might be stood up. No, he spins off a tackle, and the Eagles pick up a 1st down plus an extra yard of insurance. Carter Emanuel decided to go at it himself.
Eshawn Sutton did everything right there except wrap and drive, and Emmanuel does an excellent job of feeling pressure, absorbing it, and then spinning off of it and falling forward. Just really excellent decision-making with the football so far. Obviously, after that initial pick, he's really relatively been unblemished, throwing the ball well, running the ball well, and getting them in and out of concepts relatively with ease.
Flag thrown by the far side judge. 3.5 minutes to go as we take a timeout here from the broadcast. 35-7 is the score. 3.5 minutes to play in the second quarter.
Again, penalty goes against
3:29 to go here in the second quarter. The Edgewater Eagles have a 1st and 10 coming from the 14-yard line in Winter Park territory. It's funny, it's Winter Park versus the team of College Park. Over to the left side, Saphir Miller. Now 3 receivers left, none over to the right. As the snap goes to Carter Emanuel now, but Josh Perry barreling his way forward inside the red zone deeper. Made it inside the 10 up to the 7-yard line. 2nd down coming up.
This is the Edgewater of old, just dominating in the trenches. Run game looks phenomenal.
The snap, the handoff to Perry again. Perry bouncing around to the far side, wrestling his way in to the end zone for a touchdown. Talking his smack to Aiden Pouncey from 8 yards out. Josh Perry, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game.
Just like that.
Jesse, that was just disrespectful. That was just flat out disrespectful. Both number 3s, and Josh Perry said, "I've earned mines in the trenches," and just muscles his way over him and acts like he doesn't exist. Wow. What an aggressive, angry run. Very reminiscent of the run we saw from the Lions a few days ago, and this Edgewater offense has been rolling. It seems outside of that interception, they've scored at will, and they've scored every time they touch the ball. So gotta love that if you're an Edgewater faithful.
Head coach Cam Duke, who kind of reminds me of Sean McVay a little bit, seemingly a little more calm at this point in the game. He's in his 8th season. He is also up 41-7. So
The funny part is, even though they're up 41-7, there's always things that a great head coach will focus on, and right now it's the penalties. Granted, in this situation, this game, it's not necessarily biting you in your heel, but you can't have these types of penalties. We've seen it hurt them versus Jones. We've seen it hurt them at times, and Coach Cam Duke, that's why he's fired up. He wants this thing to be perfect, and he wants them to get better every rep, because just like I said for Grant Conner, you have to forget about the last play. That holds true in good and bad situations. You can't rest on your loins because you're up. You have to continue to attack until you see all zeros, and really until the season's over, and then you're getting ready to start over a new one. So you have to be keyed in. You have to be locked in, and these penalties have been very consistent for Edgewater.
42-7 now the score. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to play in the second quarter. Coach Cam Duke came into the season with a 75-14 record. The Eagles now 4-2, as they were able to pick up wins in their last 2 games. To perform at your best, you need strong support from the sidelines. Advent Health is moving healthcare forward to keep you in the game. Visit adventhealth.com to learn more. Beautiful night here in College Park, Orlando, Florida, and it's homecoming for the Edgewater Eagles, and they're really putting on a show for their home crowd fans. We were a little bit worried at the turnout that we might see here based on the rain, the showers, the lightning, the thunder we saw earlier, and actually a pretty sizable crowd here. The student section is popping. The band has been going. Pretty good night for homecoming as the Eagles, the home team, up 42-7.
Yeah, the Eagles are outside for sure tonight. I think one of the most disrespectful things, and this is not to throw shade, it's just whenever you're scheduled for an opponent's homecoming game, you go into that game with a level of anger because you're not going to party on my head. And right now, Winter Park, they came in with that intensity, and they have to find it again going into that second half. They have to find a way to dominate in the trenches because right now, Edgewater's doing whatever they want offensively, and it's really been because defensively they've stymied Winter Park's offense. So got to find a way to make this possession huge and just drive down the field and get a couple of first downs and see if you can't get some points on the board.
2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the second quarter, 42-7. Edgewater taking their time, and after they got another unsportsmanlike conduct. As you can hear, the fans not very happy about that. I mean, they should be happy. They're up 42-7. Sorry, Mom. The mom out there that's obviously not. Oh, well, there you go.
Edgewater's here to party at this point. It's homecoming week. You're feeling good. You're feeling loose. And then you come out here and you start walloping the opponent like this. You start to feel yourself a little bit. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be the type of message that Coach Cam Duke has for his team is don't get fat off of this. Make sure you're still working and you're doing the things you're supposed to do because eye in the sky does not lie. They're going to be keyed in on the second half.
What that mom does need to understand, though, is that if they're getting backed up on these kickoff penalties, it probably means they're talking smack because they're winning by a lot. So they're probably doing just fine. Now here comes a return from the 20-yard line by Gabriel Diaz, who rolls over to the far side at the 30. Now switches up in his direction and gets tackled back at the 25. Forward progression marked him at the 25. So that's where the Wildcats are going to take it. 2:41 left to go here in the second quarter. And Coach Duke coming out to give Kinley Curvin, his kicker, some love. Pretty good kick there to start the Wildcats at their own 25-yard line. And the Wildcats have now under 3 minutes to go before a running clock in the second half.
Funny enough, even after those penalties, that was the best kickoff we've seen from Edgewater with the best field position for their defense. So oddly enough, the penalties did work out.
The new quarterback in the game is William Jackson, the sophomore, as Grant Connors is out. 2 receivers left, 2 over to the right. Jackson back to pass over towards the near side. Pass is caught at the 30-yard line by Eshawn Sutton, who gets out of bounds. And that was about 6-yard pickup there on first down, 2nd and 4.
Will Marzoff was slightly late in his drop there, and if he was there just a half a second earlier, he would have been able to turn his head, and that would have been another house call. So very unfortunate for Will, but good job getting there and making the tackle. Excellent job by Winter Park.
Jackson with the snap from the 31 will float this down the sideline again, and the actual pass was caught by Eshawn Sutton. He was just out of bounds at the 40 in Edgewater territory. So I'll bring up 3rd and 4.
Oh, man, Eshawn Sutton just got a one-hander on the side, just wasn't able to toe tap. But, wow, what a catch. Unfortunate for Winter Park, it doesn't stand. He wasn't able to get that in bounds, and that was just a great job by Kamani Battle-Williams to squeeze him out of bounds and not give the quarterback any room or real estate on the field to throw that football.
Backup quarterback and backup running back Kristen Lingard is in the game as well. Jackson is back to pass again, throws it over towards the near side, and he well overthrew Aiden Pouncey on the out route. 4th and 4 coming up.
That one looks like a miscommunication because, yes, that was overthrown. However, it looked like Pouncey cut that route a little bit short. That looked like about an 8-yard corner route. So maybe if he gets that out and he's able to meet him in the inside, and we do this here and this there. They could connect, and that's really been the problem with this offense, the inability to connect on a consistent basis.
Winter Park came into this game at 3 wins and 2 losses on the season, number 17 in their class. Top 100 in Florida as William Jackson is back to pass, and he gets clobbered as he just has to let it go there on 4th down. And now a penalty on the Eagles. This one's going to go against Damian Moore.
That's rough. That's rough because Damian Moore gets there as he's releasing, and he does pack a boom. Definitely was some dynamite in that, but however, this is a game of football. You have your pads on, and as a defensive player, it just hurts me to see. I'm curious what this call will be, but based on where the flag was thrown, based off the hit, it looks like it's going to be against Edgewater, and exactly it's seemingly roughing the passer. Jesse, I am very upset.
Big penalty there against the Eagles as the ball moves up from the 26 or 27 to the 47, a 20-yard penalty. Grant Connor is in, though. William Jackson did take a big hit on that one. Lingard is still the tailback. Connor's back to throw. He takes a big hit, throws over the far side. Pass caught. Atticus Van Dyke for the first down in Edgewater territory up to the 41. Nice catch.
So that looked like what we used to call in college dogs get to play, and whenever that running back doesn't go out and he steps up, you get to green dog that and go send it, and that's exactly what happened, and you get a big hit on the quarterback, and for Connor, the ability to get that down and inbounds is honestly incredible.
Connor back to pass at the 47, over towards the far side. That pass, is that caught over on the far side? Yes, it is. Gabriel Diaz will move the chains again, and now Winter Park in the red zone for their second time in the game.
So it looks like they just need to get into their 2-minute offense and just run that because it's looked excellent. Connor's taking hits, delivering the football with confidence and poise, and receivers are catching.
From the 19-yard line, Connor will take the snap, looking over towards the right side, passes that direction, pass, big catch by Randall Scott, knowing the hit was coming. Ball goes up to the 10-yard line now, make that the 9, and that'll be 1 yard short of the first down marker, 2nd and 1.
Randall Scott has some stones. To be in the middle of the field, knowing that ball is high, your ribs are exposed, you don't have a flak jacket, you hear the footsteps, and you catch the football and you hang on to it. Hats off to an excellent catch there.
Connor now taking the snap from the 9, feeling the pressure, throwing over it towards the far side. Incomplete. He was being chased down by Damian Moore, who already has one of those picks that Connor has thrown in the game.
That play is such a good way to stymie a defensive line that's been aggressive and getting downhill because they think they're winning, but they're not because the O-line goes behind and blocks the second level and the third level. However, the problem that presents is Grant Connor has to be on his back leg and throw that over an aggressive rush, and right there just unable to get that down. And, man, that was a good design, unfortunately, on the execution.
45 seconds left to go. Again, now from the 9-yard line, Connor taking a big hit over towards the pylon, incomplete. Just through the hands of Zion Wolf as he was going towards the back pylon. Great job in coverage there by Kamani Williams.
He caught the pick, but unfortunate on the over the shoulder, and Kamani Williams has an offer from Marshall, the DB that was covering on that. Excellent job squeezing him to that sideline, but man, if you're Zion Wolf, you got to come away with that one, and I'm sure he's going to make up for it.
40 seconds left to go in the second quarter. 42-7 is the score, and it looked like on 4th down that Winter Park was going for it. It's 4th and 1. Of course, if Winter Park kicks the field goal, there's no running clock yet in the second half.
And honestly, if you're Winter Park, yes, a field goal would be nice, and that feels good, but you still want to win this football game. It's so much football left, and honestly, all the points have come in this second quarter. When you really think about it, you were right there in that first, and it seemed to have gotten away from you in this. So I wouldn't be surprised if they come out here and they don't try to run a power and let Bobby Thomas III tote the rock and get upfield.
So now going under center is Grant Connor trying to push his way forward for the first down. Did he get there with 35.9 seconds left to go? The back judge says yes. The side judge says no, and he did get there in time. And now he will snap and spike it to kill the clock.
That's honestly beautiful work. I thought Bobby Thomas III was going to get it. Defense thought he was going to get it. QB sneak, and he does an excellent job of picking the hole and getting that first down. And with 30.5 on the clock, Jesse, they have a chance to do something crazy here and chip away at this lead.
From Edgewater's 7-yard line, Connor in the offense. Connor is back to pass. Over to the middle. Incomplete. It went just through the hands of Aiden Pouncey. And I think he just missed it.
That hurts for Grant Connor. Granted, yes, you threw the picks earlier. Yes, you missed on a few throws, but you're sitting in this pocket and just getting walloped on play after play after play, standing tall, delivering the football, and to have 2 drop touchdowns in the same drive within minutes of each other. That hurts.
From the 7, Connor takes the snap, looking left, over to the middle, pass caught, touchdown, Gabriel Diaz from 8 yards out.
Gabriel Diaz with the touchdown.
Excellent job. Forgetting about the previous play. Nice sidearm strike there from Grant Connor, and then you get a beautiful sliding catch by the leading receiver for Winter Park in Gabe Diaz. 13-42. Jesse, whatever that 2-minute offense is for Winter Park, they're going to have to do a lot more of that in the second half.
They were just pushing the pace, and they're going to go for 2 here. From the 5, the snap to Connor. Connor hit as he throws, incomplete.
That's good for 2.
Landon Gaines for the Edgewater Eagles able to get a hand on it, not able to catch it for an interception there. That's just a stat pattern at that point. 42-13, 15 and a half seconds left to go here in the second quarter. Can they put points on the board here, Alvin?
Edgewater, I have learned over the years to not doubt them.
Yeah.
And honestly, just watch, because every time I say, oh, no, they can't put points, you get a kick return for a touchdown. You get a huge play to end the game. You get a run that breaks 3 tackles and scores. So they can do literally whatever they want. They've touched the ball maybe 5 times, and they scored each and every one of them outside that pick. And honestly, I have ultimate confidence in this offense, and most importantly, Coach Cam Duke does, and almost as important, the Edgewater Eagles.
So now the Eagles, with 15 and a half seconds left to go here, have sent back Saphir Miller, Tyson Carter, and Samaj Fleming to receive this kickoff coming from Austin Labelman.
This might be the only time we see them kick it deep. You really don't want them to start off with advantageous field position.
So Saphir Miller is standing at the 15-yard line right at midfield. On the near side, Tyson Carter at the 21. And on the far sideline at the 21 is Samaj Fleming, and the ball will be onside kicked at the 47-yard line, still in Wildcat territory. So Will Marzoff falls right on top of it. Now the Eagles have 14 and a half seconds to go, about 47 yards.
Now, the right thing to do, obviously, because you're up by so much, is to, kneel it out and,
I don't know if that's the Eagles style, man.
Listen, I play a lot of Madden. I play a lot of these college football games. And, I'm 1,000% going spread, and I'm YYing it until I score some points.
By the way, Julian Prime is the tailback, a little bit bigger than Josh Perry, 215 pounds on the senior. He might be in there to chip to give Emmanuel some extra time. Emmanuel goes hard count. 2 receivers over to the left, 2 over to the right at the 48. Tyson Carter and Samaj Fleming, both the receivers over on the near side. So look for maybe them to get the ball. Carter Emmanuel staking in the pocket, throwing over the middle, incomplete, just off the hands of Tyson Carter. I think it might have been a little bit of a miscue between Carter Emmanuel and Tyson Carter, as Emmanuel sort of threw it a little bit too far ahead out of Tyson Carter coming out of his break on the in route.
And for sure, that's what you're going to say if you're Carter Emmanuel, but if you're Tyson Carter, anything that touches your hand should stick and be a catch. So both of them should take accountability for that and try to fix their ways.
3 receivers over to the right side now. The sole receiver on the near side is Tyson Carter. Julian Prime is the tailback out of the gun. Carter Emmanuel takes the snap from the 48, and they will give it directly off the snap to Julian Prime, who will run it forward to the 43-yard line, and that will kill the clock here to end the second quarter. So Edgewater completely dominates that first half. 42-13 is the score. Winter Park, though, did show some hurry up there to score. We're not able to convert on the 2-point conversion, so they still trail by a big margin. And Edgewater, what they're playing for in the second half is not just their homecoming crowd, but for a running clock. Can they do it? And can Winter Park show us a little bit more of that fiery offense? Well, we'll find out when we return on the other side of the half. But our halftime show with Josh Guerrero is up next. You are listening to Tuesday Night Football on CBS Sports, presented by Advent Health.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all fans of Edgewater High School. Let's get ready for the presentation of our homecoming.
Welcome to the Tuesday Night Football halftime show. Josh Guerrero here. At the half, 42-13, Edgewater killing the Wildcats, Winter Park Wildcats. Listen, there's a lot that I can say right now. There's a lot that I can say right now. But here's what I'm going to start off with. Grant Connor, he's playing all right. He's looking decent. He's got 2 touchdowns. But he also had 2 horrendous picks. One that was a pick six, a 40-yard pick six by Damian Moore. Wasn't a good look there. And then an interception in his own territory, which one play later turned into a touchdown by Grayson Gibson. So, Grant Connor, got to clean it up. Got to clean up on the interceptions. On the other side of the track right there, the defense. This defense was supposed to be a big thing coming in for Winter Park. Have all these defensive linemen that have offers. You got Aiden Pouncey, who is the number 33 ranked player in Florida at corner. and he's getting absolutely burned. He's getting burned by Samaj Fleming. There's times where he's getting absolutely pounded when he's playing offense. It's not looking good for him right now either. So, Winter Park side of the ball, both offense and defense, it's not looking good. Edgewater, on the other hand, they looking fantastic. Manuel Carter, he has a passing touchdown, also a rushing touchdown. Julian Prime has a touchdown, a rushing touchdown. Josh Perry has 2 touchdowns. Of course, we just talked about the Grayson Gibson touchdown and the obvious pick 6 for Damian Moore. So, something that has stood out to me about Edgewater, obviously, this offense is imposing their will on them. I mean, they scored 42 points in the first half. 42. I predicted the score to be 35-21, but they scored 42 in the first half. Absolute insane work by Edgewater. And yes, I know it is also Edgewater's homecoming game. So, a lot of stuff going on. Currently, as I'm speaking, they're doing homecoming traditionalities, Queen, King, all that fun stuff. And there's also a whole bunch of students here. So much so that the bronze medalist, I know we say gold medalist, that's my bad on my part, to Jesse O, that Omari Jones was here tonight, bronze medalist for boxing. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on here for Edgewater right now. But there's one gripe that I have on Edgewater. That's all the penalties. So many. And I mean, so many penalties that could have been avoided. A lot of unnecessary roughness penalties. A lot of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. I understand. It's your homecoming game. For your seniors, this is like the biggest thing for you guys. But that's the only gripe that I really have, because you're going to be undisciplined in the homecoming games. You're going to be undisciplined in the big games as well. So just clean up the penalties and you'll be good. Now, some other notes that I have. Obviously, it's the Julian and Josh show. I mean, come on. Julian Prime and Josh Perry, excuse me. Both of them had incredible halves, imposing their will on that defensive line that have all these offers. Come get out of here. Granted, they did have a secondary blunder that led to a touchdown to Teach's Dan Van Dyke. Absolutely beautiful throw by Grant Connor, by the way. But other than that, defense has been pretty solid. Obviously, let out that late touchdown to end the half. But other than that, pretty solid showing out there. Some notes that I have for adjustments for both teams. Edgewater side, secondary, just clean up the secondary. Don't let up these big plays like normal. Just don't do it. I know there's been a lot of secondary blunders this year for Edgewater. We just got to clean it up. Another thing that they got to clean up is the penalties. I know, homecoming game. You're talking a whole bunch of trash. I heard, we just saw Josh Perry talk trash to Brandon Pouncey, 4-star recruit. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. You got to be nice, disciplined. I don't mind a little bit of trash here and there, but try to limit the unsportsmanlike conducts as you go. For Winter Park, I actually have a story to tell you guys. My senior year of high school, shout out Legacy High School, by the way. It was the game before state championship. If we win this game, we go to state championship. By halftime, we were losing 34-3. 34-3. We were away, and it was a tough crowd that we were going up against. But shout out all the coaches at Legacy, like Coach Fox, Coach Russ, coaches like that, Coach Loganson. They're like, hey, I mean, game's not over yet. And the players, they went out there and they came back from that game, ended up winning 34-33. And that was it. That was history. We went on to the state championship game and everything. But it was one of the most dramatic comebacks that I've ever seen. Granted, this is a homecoming game at Edgewater with the whole, school basically watching on the line. Am I expecting a Winter Park comeback? Absolutely not. But I am expecting Winter Park to come out here with some more tenacity, some more firepower, clean up some stuff. And also that offensive line has been getting manhandled all night. Grant Connor has not been getting the protection he's needed. tonight. He's been getting hit every play. He's looking like Jacoby Brissett out there with the Patriots. Not gonna lie to you. But last thing I do want to mention on that bench for Winter Park is a certain quarterback, their backup quarterback. We haven't seen a lot of him, but we know he has the physical skills to do so. A guy named William Jackson. This guy isn't even starting, and he has 7 offers from Division I schools. Why not just throw him out there, give him a shot? I know he's a sophomore. I know he's learning the system a little bit, but give him a little bit of a shot. You know, give him some reps on a upper like skill team, and you know, let him cook. Like let him feel out what it is to play against top competition in a state like contender in Edgewater. That's what I want to see out of Winter Park. Just, you know, maybe like fourth quarter, depending on how the game goes. And then offensive line needs to clean it up. Grant Connors needs to stop rushing himself and making all these throws that shouldn't have been made, but it happens to the best of us. So that's all that I have for this next game. Winter Park will be playing Boone home stadium on the 10th, and Edgewater for their next game will be playing Winter Springs here, which we will be in the broadcast booth for on the 10th as well. So, you know, we still got a whole bunch of season left to go. Hopefully we see something out of Winter Park that can showcase that second half, because quite frankly, they did not look the best. So, but when we come back, it's going to be the third quarter, ladies and gentlemen. So Jesse O and Alvin Delvey will be joining you after the fact, and we will see you after the break. You're watching Tuesday Night Football High School Edition on the CBS Digital Sports Media Network, presented by EA Sports.
Back here for the second half of play. Great job to Josh Guerrero in the halftime show. Jesse O and Alvin Delvey. 42-13 is our score, Alvin. So obviously Winter Park's going to be looking to come out and make a few adjustments. What do you anticipate to be a couple of them?
Hurry up offense. You're going to see them spread the ball on the perimeter a lot more, trying to target some of these DBs, defensive backs from Edgewater, because really that's been how they scored. You remember that blunder in that first quarter on that scramble, got the touchdown there, and then on that last play, last series to finish out the half, they were able to run a couple hurry-ups, get the ball in perimeter, run some hits, spot concepts, and able to drive the ball down the field. So I'm expecting to see a lot of that. And unfortunately on defense, they haven't figured out a way to stop Edgewater, but hopefully with the offense humming, they could gain some momentum, take advantage of special teams, and try to turn the tide that way.
So Winter Park is coming off a game where they beat Freedom 58-0. They crushed them. Linebacker Caleb McDonald had a pick six and a sack for a safety, and Kristen Lingard had 2 rushing touchdowns. That's the game they're just coming off of on Friday. They also did lose to Jones earlier in the week, 22-0. But only allowing number 1 Jones to put up 22 points is pretty good. Bang! Here we go to start off the second half. Out to take this one away is Gabriel Diaz, who takes it from the 15, now the 20, now 25. Close to there is where he will be wrapped up.
Takes it from the 15.
And first and 10 for the Wildcats.
Wildcats take over
Very
first and
curious
10.
how Grant Connor's going to come out in this second half. Obviously, he's taken a beating as far as every release he's had pressure. He's really hasn't had the cleanest of pockets. He's been on the run, utilizing his legs. So I'm curious if that is going to start to atrophy his production a little bit, or if he's going to be able to stay stout and stay poised, not look at the rush, and not necessarily stare down his receivers either. It's really going to be on Grant Connor to make some plays here in the second half.
Grant Connor, 1 touchdown to 2 interceptions so far, as his team will take it from the 28. He takes the snap, and then he'll give it off to his tailback, Kristen Lingard, who was tackled for a big loss there of 2 yards.
Again, Justin Edwards making an excellent read and getting downhill. He's really he reminds me of Reuben Foster, and he's a linebacker for Alabama, and his ability to just thump and bring guys down.
2nd and 13 for the Cats.
Great job on that TFL.
And the snap to Connor, who's back at the 20-yard line. He's going to air this one out down the far sideline. Incomplete. A flag comes in. That's going to go against Nick Collins, the defensive back, who was in coverage over Diaz. And that'll probably be pass interference is what the officials will say. Did you agree with that?
From back here without a replay, I have to say no. It looked like it was equal hand fighting, and when you get your eyes back on the football, that usually negates everything. But unfortunately on this one, it does not. I thought Nick Collins Jr. did an excellent job of getting his head around, hooking and wedging, and then getting his hand on the football before the offensive player could. So I definitely don't like that call. However, you got to deal with what calls are made, and you can't dwell on that either. So you have to be pristine in your coverage.
So that 15-yard penalty moves it up to the 41. An immediate pass to Kristen Lingard on the ensuing drive makes it up 2 or 3 more yards up the field onto the near side. 2nd and 7 coming up.
Jaden Brown has been very active in this safety position. He's been seeing his keys very well. Not only has he been covering well and, being over top like a safety should, but he's also reading the alley and being that force defender in the run right there, doing a good job putting the hat on the hat and getting that tackle.
In motion goes Scott over to the left side. The snap to Connor, drops back to the 35. He's under pressure, and that ball should be live. It comes out, and Edgewater slides on top of it at the 45-yard line. Was it out of bounds? Connor took a big hit at the 35. Edgewater did recover it at the 45. And Connor has now lost the ball 3 times, 2 interceptions, and now 1 fumble lost.
Guess who? Justin Edwards Jr., the junior linebacker, does it again. 2 plays in this series so far. We see him get a huge TFL, and then you see him reaching on that strip sack to make the huge play for his defense. So 2 plays on that one. He's got his hands all over this third quarter to start. I'm expecting to see a lot more out of him in this third.
So Brandon Paul now seeing his first few minutes in the game in the left slot for the Edgewater Eagles, who take over right at the spot. A play action from Carter Emanuel. Now they'll give it to Paul, who was on the wraparound. Back to the 50. A loss of 4 yards on the pass with a flag coming in from the 50. And a Wildcat a little bit slow to get up on the far side. But he seems all right.
Those are obviously difficult to see, and when you get a guy like that, you're trying to wrestle him down, and that ankle gets caught under you. It's a very difficult position as a defensive player. Obviously, the offensive player, Brandon Paul, in the situation is trying to turn his feet, and with each step he takes, it's a step against your ankle, and happy that he's able to walk off on his own accord, but definitely an awkward-looking tackle there.
Caleb McDonald was the one who was slow to get off. Now goes over to the far side. Take a break, get some water. That penalty is going to go against the Eagles, so it'll be 1st and 20 now for the Eagles from the 45.
Again, one of the bigger things, penalties. We've seen that stymie them a few times, and now you see it rearing its ugly head. And with all the distractions going on, all the commotion for Edgewater, this is the perfect time to be locked in and focus on controlling what you can control, and that's being locked in every play, every time you step out on the field.
So a flag came in from the far side. We have a timeout on the field. 10:08 to go here in the third quarter. 42-13 is the score. Edgewater in their own territory going the other way. Edgewater has it 1st and 20 after Coach Duke calls a timeout. Coach Duke coming into the season with a 75-14 record. They're 4-2 with their losses coming against TFA and Jones at Camping World Stadium. From the 44-yard line, they're going to give this one off to Julian Prime on the near side. Prime gets past the 50, now the 40, and now he's still in bounds up to around the 30-yard line. They'll mark him out at the 33. That's a big first down pickup of 27 yards. Wow.
Addison Zalessi, number 22 for Winter Park, almost had an excellent play, blowing it up and almost forcing Perry out of that situation, but unfortunately unable to get around that corner, and Perry does the rest, getting upfield and making a huge play.
Edgewater ranked number 10 in their class so far this season. 50th in the state of Florida. It's a lot higher than they're used to being. If they can get something going here. Carter Emanuel calls his own number and now is off to the races past the 15-yard line. Now inside the 10 is where he is tackled. A 23-yard pickup on the run for the quarterback keep.
And if we're going to keep it to Edgewater grades, you got to start thinking of Chase Carter when you start to see this. His elusiveness and his explosiveness is a dynamic pair, and he shows it on that latest scamper.
And so now we have an injured Wildcat down on the field, which means we are going to take a timeout. 9 minutes and 12 seconds left to go. Insurance Affiliates Agency in College Park is your go-to source for all of your insurance needs. Visit their website at www.iaafl.com or call 407-802-3311 and ask for Ryan or Kyle Joyce. We'll be back after this.
Yes, you do.
Nine minutes, 12 seconds to go here in the third quarter. 42-13 is the score. Edgewater is in the red zone from the 10-yard line is where Carter Emanuel is going to take this snap with Julian Prime is his tailback, and a flag
Oh my
comes
God.
out from the backside official, and you can obviously hear the fans voicing the sentiment.
Slightly disgruntled.
Yep.
It's really laundry day. Now, I don't know what type of detergent you use, but for the refs, they have to maybe use Tide. You know the situation with the Tide Pods, but they're doing a great job of
Half the distance to
making
the
sure
goal.
you get to see the linens that they have in their pockets.
From the 5-yard line now is where the Eagles will operate. Julian Prime is the tailback. Out of the gun, Carter Emanuel with Prime slightly offset. They'll give this one to Prime. He is tripped up and trying to push his way towards that 1-yard line. Made it up to the 3, a 2-yard gain, second and goal.
And right now it looks like they're sending in some beef. Luke Pastis has done an excellent job at that halfback position. Really, that up back driving defenders off, and he's gotten a few pancakes. See what he does here.
So beef up front as Carter Emanuel is going to call his own number, puts his shoulder down, barreling towards the line,
Doesn't get in.
and he will be stopped at the 1-yard line.
That is a great job by the D-line from Winter Park. That's a tough situation. You're outnumbered there at the point of attack, and it's difficult to see who that was, but excellent job of getting low and stopping the penetration there by Emanuel.
Wildcat formation now as Samaj Fleming is in the backfield. He stands at the 5. He'll take the snap from the 1. Samaj Fleming going towards the left side, and he can't be stopped. Touchdown, Edgewater.
Fleming, now you see much. Now you know.
Samaj Fleming with his first touchdown of the game. We have a running clock.
Touchdown, Eagles.
What a way for the senior to get involved on homecoming, his final of his career. And Jess, we've talked about him a lot because we've been able to witness him as a young Eagle, a chick, if you will, and then his ability to grow and blossom. And now those Eagles' wings are wide, they're fully developed, and they're honestly beautiful. Great job by Samaj, doing an excellent job once again. 48-13 is tough.
Make that 49
Kinley's kick
as
is
the
good.
kick goes through.
And with 7,
And now
9,
7 minutes and 10
8
seconds left,
in the
and we're ticking down with
third
the running
quarter, and
clock.
the score is 49 Eagles.
Hey, so you mentioned Chase Carter there. He was actually on the field the last time Winter Park took on Edgewater, but they haven't played each other since 2019. So that means the last time they played each other was at Winter Park back in 2021, and Edgewater outlasted Winter Park in the second half at Showalter Field 41-35. And here's a little trip down memory lane for you, Alvin. At that point, Edgewater had a coveted junior running back. His name is CJ Baxter. In that game, he rushed for 4 touchdowns and made a critical play in the closing moments to help Edgewater escape with their 6th win of the season. And Baxter carried the ball 28 times. Guess how many yards he had in the game?
305.
308. He had 308 yards and turned a short reception into a gain of 22 as the Eagles faced a 3rd and 22 from the midfield with less than 2 minutes remaining and able to drive them all the way downfield for the touchdown. So we have a water break on the field halfway through the 3rd quarter. 49-13 is the score.
I'd like to recognize the second half visitor fan of the game, Frank Loubre. Big shout out to Frank for being a super fan.
Six and a half minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. A hot, sweaty, maybe a little bit smelly night here at Frank Lowe Field in College Park.
The score is nasty. The press box is nasty.
Oh, yeah, it's disgusting. Kinley Curvin kicking this one away, and he will go all the way to the back row. Aiden Pouncey will let that one go into the end zone for a touchback. So a lot of things have been going well tonight. Some things not going too well, including the smells presented by the Edgewater Eagles lasagna.
I could give a big shout out to our cheerleaders.
You just gotta love it.
Josh Guerrero's having a fun time figuring out what high school football actually is about. And with 5:32 to go here in the third quarter,
You gotta dominate. the
I
battle of the
can't feel my
trenches.
nose. Okay, so Grant Connor is in the backfield. He'll take the snap from the 20, and they're going to hand this one off. Oh, and a big tackle on Kristen Lingard by Will Marzoff. Wow, it just keeps getting worse up here and down on the field.
Jackson Bell on the tackle.
Nasty work in the trenches
No gain
for
on the ball.
Edgewater, and that pasta is definitely doing wonders for the big boys up front. And
Yeah, for the big boys in the press box.
an explosive night for everyone involved. Check to see if you're lactose intolerant before you indulge in cheese. Speaking from experience.
That's why you won't see me near any of it. Connor back to pass. He's going to launch this one downfield. Pass is caught on the far side. Gabriel Diaz is off to the races and sliding out of bounds at the 40.
Talk about explosive plays. He had a step out of the jump. Does a great job on his release, and from there stacked them immediately, and you get a beautiful ball thrown right on the numbers, over the shoulders. And what a play for Winter Park.
A 40-yard pickup for them. You could probably say that Grant Connor let it go.
Do an absolute steamer for sure.
That one came out like a rocket.
He's on the heater.
He's trying to live the guys in his dust as he goes past the 50, and then he's brought down for a loss. Another sack. Will Marzoff.
Will Marzoff gets the sack.
Really, there's so many guys in that backfield, and Will Marzoff does an excellent job of tracking that back hip and does a good job once again of making it second and forever. And all the yardage that was gained on that excellent explosive play is now dwindled away, and now it looks very grim if you're Winter Park.
Second and about 20 to go here. Empty backfield for Connor. Three receivers left, one over to the right. He takes the snap, looking right, and will float one over that direction. Incomplete. His intended receiver was Eshawn Sutton. Good coverage there by A.J. Hewley. Your guy, Alvin.
Great coverage there for sure, but man, honestly, for Grant Connor to even get that ball in the vicinity, he had to throw that ball so early because he already had a guy in his face and had to release it way earlier than he would have wanted. And obviously good coverage on the back end by Torrey Huey Jr. But really, you got to give credit to this D-line for forcing these throws to come out way earlier than they're supposed to.
For the legal formation on the offense, that penalty is declined.
So a false start on the offense.
3rd 18.
As the flag came in from the far sideline judge. Coach Duke is going to decline that one. It's 3rd and 20 from the 50. It's a lot of big numbers there, which is probably not a good sign if you're on offense.
Big numbers on the scoreboard, not necessarily in the yardage between your first downs.
And then a flag comes in from the backside. And that one might be a delay of game. Oh, maybe it's actually unsportsmanlike conduct on Edgewater.
Now, this is something that is very interesting.
I have pretty good eyes. I would have seen that, I feel like.
Yeah,
Penalty on the Eagles, going to back us up 15.
I'm so sick of y'all laundry on the field.
and it's hard to disagree.
Yeah, mom there doesn't want to have to do more laundry than she needs to.
gone through a whole platoon of Tide Pods, and now we're in water bills higher than it's supposed to be. It's just a lot of laundry.
3rd and 3, 57 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. As Connor has an empty backfield, takes the snap from the 40, immediately feeling the pressure, breaks one tackle, throws it over towards the far side, first down completion out to the 20-yard line. A great catch by Atticus Van Dyke over there, the senior, for a first down.
It's very difficult, obviously, to throw a comeback route, but it's even more difficult to be on a rollout, have to step into the pocket that doesn't exist, and then continue to roll out laterally and then throw the strike. So Grant Connor is in rare form, averaging about 226 yards per game, and yeah, he's found his confidence. Despite the 3 turnovers, he's found his confidence, and it's excellent to see.
10 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Connor directing traffic, 1 receiver left, 3 over to the right. Ball's at the 25. Connor with the snap over to the right side. Van Dyke again the reception, and he is tackled right there on the spot, and that'll end the third quarter. So going into the fourth quarter, one more running clock. In sports, you want to stay well ahead to reach your goals. Advent Health is here to help by revolutionizing health care today. Advent Health is a proud supporter of Edgewater Athletics. We'll take a break and come back in just a sec.
Yep, got 12 minutes with a running clock.
All right, Eagle fans and Winter Park as well. It's time to get your phones out. Let's turn those lights on.
Well, you better go. What time is it? Oh, you got time.
Fourth quarter action now upon us as the Winter Park Wildcats are driving their way down the field. They're taking the snap from the 21-yard line in Edgewater territory. Connor is back to pass, looking, throwing over the middle. Pass incomplete. He was trying to catch his big tight end, Andrew Follett, the 6'4", 230-pound sophomore Alvin Delvey.
Yeah, definitely a big fella for sure. And yes, 10 offers. UCF,
as a sophomore,
Louisville, you rattled off his measurements.
Yeah, I guess
you need that. You can't teach it.
Him.
Unfortunately, he forgot the football there, but there's a lot of people around him. Again, thanks Josh Guerrero for our stats and facts.
1 receiver to the left side of the line, 3 over to the right, 3rd and 10 from the 21. Connor rolling to the right, back at the 40, tossing over to the sideline, incomplete. He was trying to link up with Van Dyke, who was again out of play. It's going to be 4th and 10. Obviously, they're going for it.
Definitely a game of cat and mouse, and unfortunately, the mouse in this situation is Grant Connor. The D linemen are the cats because it's really just been him on his back foot trying to get rid of the ball, avoid sacks, and taking punishment. And you had a couple of drop balls from receivers. You've seen a couple picks. However, the thing that you like, every time he gets it and he's in that drop back, he is still looking for his receivers and he's still trying to deliver strikes. So hats off to Grant Connor, but man, he's getting walloped.
Here's Connor to pass again. Pass is caught on the outside by Diaz. It is a first down and then some, and then a flag comes in from the far side official at the 10-yard line.
So as soon as I got to talking about how Grant Connor's getting hit, he has literally the perfect pocket, throws a perfect pass. It's an excellent catch. I'm not sure what the laundry's on the floor for, but looked great. out of that hitch and the ability to get that first down has to give them some confidence. Granted, still a running clock, but you got to have some pride here for Winter Park and try to knock some points on this board.
10 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. First and goal from the 7-yard line for Winter Park. Winter Park and Edgewater both against common opponents so far this season. 1 win and 1 loss. They both played Freedom and smacked them in the teeth as hard as they could. They both lost to Jones. Connor back to throw towards the pylon on the right side. Pass incomplete. That was a nice try there. Almost a pull down by Diaz.
One-hander. He tried to head tap him.
Yeah.
That was about to be crazy. And, going back to the common opponents, so Winter Park, they've really looked high. They look great, scoring 58, and everything's going good. And then they've also gotten shut out, and granted, versus Jones, you only give up 22, which is relatively good. But the highs and the lows and the discrepancy of those two is something that they're going to want to try to figure out. And I think that's going to be really figured out in the trenches.
So that'll ball be at the 4-yard line. Sutton is the tailback next to Connor. The snap, and then the handoff, and stood up is Sutton by Aiden Anderson. No gain.
Right now, if you're Edgewater, a win is 3 points. If you can hold them and keep them out of the end zone and force them to kick, that is something you can hang your hat on, especially after the myriad of penalties that you've received on this drive and in the second half, really the entirety of this game. And to be up as big as you are with homecoming and all these different things pulling you in every different direction, to be able to be in this situation of fourth with running clock and force them to a field goal, it's a win.
2nd and 5 to the goal line. Sutton again, the tailback. Connor back to throw. Over towards the near side. Incomplete. His intended receiver was Aiden Pouncey. And that'll bring up 3rd and 5
and
for the Wildcats.
And Torrey Hewley Jr. again. And really, he's been on an island. He's been to the weak side. He's been to the strong side. He's gotten a pick. He's gotten a PBU. He's made tackles behind the line of scrimmage. He's made tackles beyond the line of scrimmage. So really, he's had a complete game as a corner, and his ability to stay locked in on his keys and be attached to that hip, get his eyes on the football, and right there is another example.
Here's the 3rd and 5 as Sutton will take it, and he will be tackled for no gain again. Aiden Anderson able to get in there along with Jaden Brown, and just this offense for Winter Park has not been able to go anywhere. Eshawn Sutton is actually going to have to sub out, was sort of limping on his way back out. And you said, Alvin, a win on this possession for the Edgewater defense would be 3 points. And now here is Winter Park setting up for their first field goal of the game.
This is good. This is exactly what it is. Obviously, good is a loose term. You never want to give up points. But whenever you're backed up into your own end zone, it's
Labelman for a 25-yard field goal is perfectly through the uprights.
It's 3 points on the board.
49-16. What odd numbers for football.
Yeah, I would never have guessed that. When you're betting, squares and stuff, and there's all these different squares, I would never in a million years put a hit on 49-16. So let's talk about the Sentinel Super 16 coaches poll. For the second straight week, Jones is the unanimous choice of the 19 coaches voting in the Sentinels Super 16 coaches poll, earning 18 first place votes. Coaches obviously can't vote for their own teams, and Jones moved to 6-0 with a 49-7 victory over Auburndale on Saturday in its Class 4A district opener. The defense drew praise from Coach Elijah Williams with interceptions from Dimitri Pryor, Reggie Harris, Courtney Patterson, and Isaiah Simpson, as well as 3 sacks and a fumble recovery. Pryor, who's a freshman, has 4 interceptions so far this season, and the top 6 teams remain the same, with Seminoles 5-0, Orlando First Academy, who's 6-0, Dr. Phillips at 5-0, and Edgewater in there at top 5 at 4-2. Lake Mary's right behind them as well. So Bishop Moore obviously fell out of that top 5 because they had to play, unfortunately, St. Thomas Aquinas. And that, needless to say, led to a beatdown.
Yeah, some schools are good for your entire life, and
Yeah,
St. Thomas Aquinas is definitely one of those schools.
absolutely. So Edgewater ranked number 50 in the state right now, Alvin, 10 in their class. That's not where they're used to being
No,
in the last, 4 years where we've been calling games for them.
but that's good. It's good because in previous years, you've gone undefeated, you've been ranked high, and then in the postseason,
Onside kick is recovered by the Edgewater Eagles. I don't know why they would try that. Now Edgewater's at the 47-yard line in Wildcat territory.
and the only thing that I can think of is you're just not 100% sure of your cover team. And against Edgewater with their prolific returners, I understand why. If there's any shred of a doubt, you're just not going to give them that field position, especially giving them that explosive play opportunity.
If you're looking to update or renovate your garden or lawn, visit Palmer's Gardens and Lawn or Palmer's Feed and Seed for all your needs. Palmer's is a longtime proud supporter of the Edgewater Athletic Department. Now here's the Edgewater offense led by Remy Jarman is the new quarterback. So we have some new players in the game, and he's going to hand this one off to Josh Perry as Perry goes forward for an extra 3 or 4 yards on the carry, second down. Remy Jarman into the game for his first time in this one, his first time really this season as a freshman.
And that got to feel good coming in. And granted, the play call is going to be relatively calm, and you're not necessarily going to spread it all the way across the field, but the potential to do so has to be exciting.
So Saphir Miller over on the far side, Brandon Paul, Luke Anderton on the right side, as Jarman will take the snap, look over towards the right side. He's got Anderton for the reception. Anderton's got the first down, and then getting deeper into Wildcat territory, gets up to the 25-yard line. You're laughing after that 15-yard pickup. Why?
It's just a little steaming here, but Luke Anderton does an excellent job of taking a short route, getting upfield, explosive work. Gotta love the way he's been active this game and really this entire season. Done a good job. Really not dropping balls, sure hands, good size, good frame, and he has some wheels to boot.
4 minutes left to play in the game. 2 receivers left, one over to the right, the snap, and then the handoff to Josh Perry, who takes it up to the 20-yard line in Wildcat territory. They're in the red zone, 3rd and 2 to come up.
They've just been so dominant in that front line and the ability to just create whatever lane they want. Running backs can just go eeny, meeny, miny, mo between the A, B, and C gap, and when they've been able to get their foot in the ground and get upfield, it's been difficult to tackle, and it's been a broken record, it seems, for the last couple weeks, which is honestly excellent for Edgewater. You want to be starting to play your best football, and week in and week out, you start to fix things, and honestly, they look pretty fixed right now.
Yep, Remy Jarman from the 20-yard line, 2 yards to go to the line to gain. Jarman with the quick handoff, and that one will be blown dead immediately as there was probably a false start and a flag came out on the far side. He was handing that one off to Mikhail Gaynor, the wide receiver, who is in his 10th grade year.
Gaynor had the edge on that for sure, and he was looking to go and get himself in the end zone and get 6 there, but unfortunately plays blown dead. But the thing I love about Edgewater is in these moments, they always put their young guys in and keep the play calling relatively similar because experience is the best teacher. So for them to be locked in all game and know that there's a potential for their number to get called, and when it is, you get to execute the game plan you've been practicing so meticulously over the year, it's honestly beautiful to watch.
And now they will give it right back to Mikhail as he will try to go forward for an extra yard or 2 on a second down carry, but he loses 2 3rd and 9.
The infamous reload. Everyone who's played football and been in practice knows how dangerous that word can be in certain situations. And reload the play, lose some yards, but get some young cats to feel the grass a little bit, feel the pigskin in their hand, tote the rock in a game. And even though there's only a minute 40 left, it got to feel good to be able to touch the field and get that jersey dirty in front of this crowd.
Another flag came out right at the line of scrimmage with a minute and 30 seconds left to go. Feels like the 50th flag of the game. That one goes against Winter Park. And I hope the FHSAA doesn't come after me for saying that again.
Oh, you're a marked man.
Yeah. They're listening to this broadcast very carefully. No one can misspeak. Otherwise, we all get sanctioned because of Jesse O. No, I'm dead serious, Josh. I actually got a call from the FHSAA last year. Jarman will take the snap from the 10, dumps it off to the far side. Saphir Miller gets the reception, and he will get down at the 15-yard line. Maybe made it an extra yard or two outside of that. 2nd down.
Honestly, it's been a pretty solid showing for Edgewater. They were able to take a little bit of momentum and turn it into a monsoon of points, and offense looked great. Defense looked even better, and somehow, regardless of what the onside kicking situation was, special teams looked just as good. 3-pillar attack for the Eagles.
So on 2nd down, Jarman will take the final knee of the game at the 20-yard line, and that will do it. As the clock counts down from 10 seconds now, Edgewater will enjoy another victory on this season. So the Eagles get it done here at home, 49-16. What a performance by this Edgewater squad in front of their home crowd, as the teams will shake hands at midfield, and we will prepare our post-game show for you. Edgewater gets this one done in dominant fashion, and they will enjoy the weekend as homecoming champions. Stick with us. The post-game show on the way after these messages from your local station. Back here for the post-game show, Jesse O, Alvin Delvey, and Josh Guerrero joins us for this final segment here every single week. We are here at least. So Tuesday night game, gentlemen, and Edgewater wins in dominant fashion. And, you know, in the first quarter, at least, Alvin, it was close. And then Carter Emanuel throws an interception, very rare interception, only his third of the season. So he throws that one, and then Winter Park actually comes back, ties the game up 7-7, and then it obviously got out of hand from there. So, you know, a lot of things to look forward to for the Edgewater Eagles. Winter Park needs a little bit of help going forward. Obviously, you know, their strength of schedule might help them make a playoff. But overall, what were your thoughts of what you saw tonight?
Realistically, it was the defense that's done an excellent job. We know what this offense can do. There's playmakers everywhere. We know Samaj. We know what Carter Emanuel can do. We know Josh Perry, Julian Prime. There's just the list goes on and on. But on the defensive side, we've seen some excellent play from Damian Moore Jr. Jatorian Mack made a few plays, and we've seen excellent play from Jaden. So I have to give credit to the defense. I think that turning point that you mentioned, we get a pick six, and from there, it really was an all-out onslaught by Edgewater. Momentum was there, and then you get another turnover that turned into points, and it just seeming like the defense created these opportunities, and the offense, with a short field, capitalized each and every time.
You mentioned the defense there, and when I talked to Coach Duke after the game last week, he said the defense across the board played well in their 50-0 shutout of Lyman. I would assume that he probably would say the same thing here against Winter Park, who they had not played since 2021, who they were able to get a win at on the road at Showalter Field, 41-35. This is the first time they'd played at Edgewater since 2019, in which Edgewater was able to get a win in that game as well. Josh, let's bring you in here. Edgewater moves now to 5-2, and Winter Park is now 3-3 on the season. Do you think that Winter Park can learn a lot from this game, and what can they learn?
I think they can absolutely learn a lot from this game. I mean, first and foremost, I think there's some issues along that offensive line that has to, get addressed. Like majority, 70% of the plays tonight here, we saw that quarterback Grant Connor, he didn't have much, little to no time in that pocket, and that affected a lot of his throws. That led to a couple interceptions, and him forcing a lot of throws. Granted, it could have been a better decision making on his hand to make sure that those interceptions weren't thrown. But the offensive line, that's a big thing that has to, be addressed. Another thing that I think needs to be addressed is the emotions going into this game. So, I said we saw a lot of what, Edgewater, they were talking a lot. Obviously, it's their homecoming game, and we could see that, a lot of players, they were visibly upset, especially Pouncey. Pouncey was, getting, dogged on a lot of this game, and he was visibly complaining a lot. That's something I saw. So, going into a new week, with a new mindset of hey, just another game, let's come back next week bigger, stronger, better than ever. So
yeah, you mentioned the quarterback play there, Alvin. Grant Connor, 2 interceptions and 1 fumble lost. A very forgetful, game is what he's going to want to chalk this one up as. As a quarterback, how do you move on from that?
Honestly, there are a lot of good points were touched on. Josh mentioned the offensive line and the little to no time that Grant Connor had in these moments. But honestly, looking at it, if I'm a coach and I'm thinking, man, how do I get these guys to go? Obviously, in the front seven in the trenches, you want to be more physical. You want to see guys get moved off of their spot. You want to see more flat backs. But most importantly, for Grant Connor, I got to love the fact that even despite what happened in the red zone where you get 2 drop touchdown passes that hit the receiver's hands, he sits there and throws a third and gets another touchdown. And each time he got absolutely wrecked on these throws. So he's able to stand in the pocket and take the punishment and still try to deliver strikes. Granted, some of the back foot stuff is things that you want to work on, but if you can give him more time and allow him to actually see the field and not see a white face mask with a red helmet running at him, and then, that helmet is put into his rib cage, when that stops happening, I assume he's going to have more confidence, and you'll see more of what you've seen when he scored 58 points for the Winter Park football team. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do. It doesn't necessarily look like this was the best showing for them. However, there was key things you can take away, and the toughness by the quarterback, toughness on the defensive side in key moments. If you can string that together and make it a cohesive game, you still have a good football team.
I also think the Edgewater defense was somewhat out for blood. They absolutely detonated on quite a few of the Wildcats as they were running upfield, including Jaden Brown, who had one of the biggest hits I've ever seen on a high school football field. So you touched on the defense there, and I love that because you are a defensive guy, and obviously you have to shout out the defense for pretty much handling a team like this, only allowing them to put up 16 points. And that's also because the defense was probably getting tired because the Winter Park offense was on the field so much because Edgewater just kept scoring and scoring and scoring. But it wasn't just scoring and scoring and scoring. They were scoring so quickly every time that they went down the field. So the defense, obviously pretty tired by the end. Few cramps on both sides of the ball, but they only give up 16 points for the win. And now, Josh, we're going to start with you. Who is your player of the game?
My player of the game. I'm not going to lie. There's so many routes I can go with this because, you saw a lot of the defense that happened. You saw a lot of the offense that happened. I'm not going to lie. If I can give it to everyone, I wish I could give it to everyone. But I'm not going to lie. There was one guy that stuck out to me. And once again, I am taking Alvin's job. I'm taking a defensive player.
Oh.
And that defensive player is going to be the pick six man himself, Damian Moore.
Yeah.
That pick six that he had completely flipped the script around and gave Edgewater momentum, and they did not look back since.
Okay, Damian Moore with the 40-yard pick six to the house, and that is Josh's pick. Alvin, who are you going with?
Love the defensive call. Love what Damian Moore Jr. did. You got to give Torrey Huey Jr. some credit as well because he defended a few passes that would have been touchdowns. Jaden Brown did the exact same thing. And realistically, if we're going to do a defense, and I like how you went with the defense, I just have to go O-line again because, granted, you get that was a pick six, but then on the other turnovers where they had a short field, guys are just walking in the end zone. And when you got guys walking in the end zone, that means that a hole was created, and you have to give credit to the guys that created it. And I'm going to go with the offensive line with the addition of Luke Pastis because he came in as the fullback to add some extra beef to that front line. So we got a defensive player. We got the offensive line again. Jesse, who are you going with?
Okay, so both of you actually took my people. And I'll play off of the offensive line one because Jaden Wilkerson at 6'7", 330 pounds, the senior, was setting some fantastic nose blocks on the end, and that opened up holes for my player of the game, Josh Perry, who ends up with 2 rushing touchdowns in this game. Even knowing that Julian Prime, got a lot of the totes in their last contest for the 3 rushing touchdowns against Lyman, Josh Perry never loses confidence in himself, is the running back one in this offense, and runs one in from the 1 yard line, one in from the 8 yard line, and that came behind Jaden Wilkerson's fantastic blocks up front. So I'm kind of going with like a tandem there, basically saying that Jaden Wilkerson helped Josh Perry score those touchdowns, which he did in the grand scheme of things.
We have no conviction when we pick players of the game, so I love it. Like, I think everyone deserves a trophy, especially in a win as dynamic as this one. So sorry. I think it's okay. You got the tandem. I picked 5 guys, 6 guys.
Yeah. And also, I would say Grayson Gibson also does deserve some credit. Scored the first touchdown of the game from 16 yards out, a reception from Carter Emanuel over towards the pylon on the near side. The halfback coming in and making his presence felt. So that's who our players of the game are. Looking up next, Josh, I have to ask you, who does Winter Park play next? And the Edgewater Eagles, who do they have next? I think the Edgewater Eagles play at home against Winter Springs, correct?
That is correct. And this is a huge game. I was talking to the athletic director before this game, Josh Vandergrift. Shout out Josh Vandergrift. This is a huge game for Edgewater. This is actually the biggest game of the year coming out for Edgewater. And the reason we say this is because Winter Springs is a game. If they don't win this district game, considering some circumstances, they might not be able to walk into the dance of the playoffs. So, coming into Winter Springs currently, as I am looking at Max Preps, shout out Max Preps, has a record of 4-1. So Winter Springs, very solid team. Just taking a slight glance at them really fast. They have some great players. Tristan Reigns, a guy that you got to watch out for. You got Anthony Valentine that you got to look out for. Their quarterback, Jakeem McBurst, you got to look out for. And then, you got some linebackers. Joseph Morales is a guy that I'm going to be watching for 5 sacks this season.
Cool.
So this game is a huge game, and I'm not going to lie, they're going to have to lean a lot on this offensive line. It's looking like in this upcoming game, if they win this game, I mean, they're going to go to the dance. If they don't win this game, it's not going to look good for them. So
yeah, and I mean, you can not win that game, obviously, and then based on the strength of schedule, get an at-large bid somewhere, but you do want that home field advantage going into the playoffs. And Alvin, how do they get it done against Winter Springs next? What would be your key to the game?
Well, realistically, district games are always nasty because it matters a little bit more. You have more tape on them. And realistically, in this situation, like Josh explained, there's a couple of guys that look like they could be problematic. And for Edgewater, the best part about it, you got guys that really didn't see a ton of run today. Obviously, Samaj Fleming got a touch. You didn't really see him get as many totes as you typically see him have. And that's just one to name a few. And realistically, how dynamic this Edgewater offense is, guys beat you this week might not necessarily be the guys that beat you next week. And that's the exciting part in this defense. Realistically, they've gotten better every single week. And the way that the D line is getting their hands on and then off into their gap, keeping the linebackers free, and they're flowing. We've seen a couple turnovers. The dynamic turnover battle has been won in every single win for Edgewater. There's a lot of things that the Edgewater has going for them, and the ability to not stay complacent or not be complacent even with the large lead. I'm expecting this to be a show of fireworks for sure.
So Edgewater moves to 5-2 now on the season, and Winter Park is now 3-3. Well, folks, it's a beautiful Tuesday night, but we do have to get going. We want to say thank you so much for tuning into our special coverage of high school football on this Tuesday night. We know it's not normal, and next week we're actually to keep the abnormalities. A Thursday night game against Winter Springs, 7 p.m. kickoff. We'll have all of the action here for you on CBS Sports Digital Network with the pregame show coming at 6:45. So for Josh Vandergrift, to make sure that these broadcasts are possible, for Josh Guerrero, our statistician, our engineer, our producer, and our pre- and halftime show host, and for my strong safety sitting next to me, Mr. Alvin Delvey, I'm Jesse O saying good night from Frank Lowe Field, where our final score is 49-16. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next Thursday night here for a presentation of high school football on CBS Sports Digital Network, presented by Advent Health.